Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 30 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth gaming discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Ellis, and joining me this week is my boy, Gene. Gene, what's going on, dude?
Good morning or good afternoon. How's it going?
Going good.
Answering the call of the Summon Sign.
I know, Gene, always coming in clutch when someone's got a bail, but I'll get Maddie on next time. He cannot hide from me, so we'll get him next time. But this week, we got a special guest, YouTube legend, Souls expert, whatever you want to say, FightinCowboy. What's going on, man?
It's good to be here. Ready to discuss some games.
Yes, sir. I saw you guys. You guys were both on a podcast together recently, too, weren't you?
Yep,
we
were on the Concast with YouTube creator Rurikon, which was great for me because I've known Cowboy for some time, but I've actually never appeared on a show before with him. And Rurikon, I've known like less of a time. Of course, I've never spoken to him either, but I've watched both creators intensely. Cowboy for basically a lot of the Soul stuff and a lot of RPG stuff, and Rurikon because he is like the Monster Hunter creator. You know, him and Gaijin Hunter, right? But Rurikon is definitely like the king of Monster Hunter content, and like his like Monster Hunter training, Cowboys too, but like I think I use Khan's more. His Monster Hunter like weapons training guides were so clutch. I would not know how to play Monster Hunter if it wasn't for him, or like at least my favorite weapons. You know,
Totally, dude. Yeah, and I'm sure if any of you out there have looked up any like Souls type game or anything like that, I'm sure you've come across FightinCowboy's videos. That's how I saw him way back. You've been doing this a long time too, Fightin'. I remember your videos from a while ago.
To about 12 years now, going on 13.
Yeah. So he's been around doing great guides for everybody. We got a ton of write-ins from people that are stoked that you're on and very thankful your guides. We'll get into some of those.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was just using them last night, actually. I was using your old Dark Souls Remastered guide.
I'm actually considering going through all the games again. I was thinking about doing like a Souls-a-thon.
Yeah.
Like start with Demon Souls, make my way all the way up to Elden Ring. It's going to be it's like a 3-month endeavor, I feel. It's not just like a one stream event. Like, no, that's a long haul.
I was actually using your guide specifically for Sen's Fortress because I forgot what all the garbage underneath Sen's Fortress is.
I don't even remember if there's anything good down there.
Yeah, there's nothing good down there. So that's why like I needed to like remind myself. I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing good. I'm not.
There's no reason to go through the pain of dealing with the Titanite demons.
Yeah, there's like 5 Titanite demons down there. I'm not. I was like, I don't think I've ever killed all of them before in my life. So.
Yeah, I can't recall if there's anything good down there. If you go through all those games again, are you going to do anything special per playthrough, or are you just going to kind of do whatever build you want?
The goal would be to do a different build for each playthrough and not repeat a type. So Demon Souls, do whatever. Dark Souls 1, I think I would have to go Pyromancy to keep build options open.
Right.
And then, because I know you got your big 4 with like Strength, Dex, Faith, and Intelligence. And then Bloodborne, I could do like Blood Tinge since that's its own thing. Then Elden Ring, I could do Arcane. But Arcane builds are kind of just, Dragon Breath and Bleed. So I'm thinking if I do Pyromancy for Dark Souls 1, which is like stat independent, I could save one of my big 4 for Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pyromancy is completely not tied to anything in Dark Souls. I also forget that there's just no MP in Dark Souls 2. So I'm like, I can just homework whenever.
Did they add stats to Pyromancy in 2, or was that 3?
I know 3 it became
it's like faith and intellect, right?
trying to remember. God, this is the problem. Is there's like slight changes between all
I
of the
know.
games.
They
and
change
you're
it
trying to-
every
Slight
single time,
tweaks.
but it's the
Yeah.
same numbers, or the same names. And sometimes they do something like arcane and luck. Like luck
Yeah.
is always the stat that always gets transferred around to like
It
different.
just
things,
gets a new name every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, you could do luck for 3, I guess.
Well,
if
I
you
was
wanna use
considering that. And
sword.
someone said that until you can get Hollow Infusion, it's like profane capital. So you'd have to be like 2/3 plus through the game before you can
Oh.
really lean into it. So I'm like, that might be.
Yeah, might be rough.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from the audience a little bit before we get in the show. This is from Connor. Greetings, fellow Sunbros. I'm super excited that Cowboy is on this show this week. I was the one to tweet at you guys last weekend to ask about him coming on the show sometime. Because I've recently been replaying different Souls games and utilizing Cowboy's walkthroughs, I have a 2-part question. For Cowboy, what has been your favorite From Software game walkthrough to create? And for everyone, what is your favorite From Software game to replay? Thanks, dudes. Connor.
So, honestly, I would, even though I don't think it falls into the like same bucket as the others, probably Sekiro.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I managed to get through it without ever having a true death, and I was like super pumped about that.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came down to the wire too. Like I remember there was a moment against Ishin at the end where I had to like eat one of my like the golden full heal things. I managed to get through them, and I was like, damn, no true death. This is good. So that one was probably my favorite, just because it was like not only getting the walkthrough done, but also like hitting a personal achievement at the same time. So that was a cool feeling.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Man, I miss Sekiro. What a game. Let's see. What's everyone's favorite From Software game to replay? Now, Gene, this is interesting because you've been replaying From Software games. Which one is your favorite right now?
Yeah, well, maybe I can just talk about it right now. But I
Sure.
have once again been playing Dark Souls 1 all over again. I pretty much play Dark Souls 1 like I think once a year, because I feel like I know the game inside out, and then I realize I've never found
I saw
six,
you
like-
talking about a chest you just found that you hadn't.
it's just a 6 treasure chest underneath Firelink Shrine that has like the Morning Star and like the talisman and like 6 homeward bones. And I was like, oh, I could have used these 6 homeward bones like all these years. Like that would have been really, really useful because every time I do a run to like get the Firelink spirit or the Firekeeper spirit or whatever like that, I just throw myself off. As opposed to homeward boning, I just kill myself. Like whenever I do a run to get the Blighttown like Firekeeper soul, right? Like that's always a pain in the ass, and sometimes you just want to die like in the sewers and just respawn once you get it. But it's like, oh yeah, these are 6 homeward bones. But I've been to get back on track. I've been playing Dark Souls on Switch. The reason why that is my favorite version is because it is the only modern version that is the original Dark Souls, the one that came out in 2011. Dark Souls Remastered does all kinds of weird fucky shit with the graphics and the lighting that makes all the armor look washed out and super bloomy, as opposed to you can actually see like the dents and like the scrapes on the armor in the original. The textures look a lot better. So this is basically I hated. We could talk about this Cowboy a little bit, but I hated people saying like, well, that's not the best version, or how could you say that, or no one says that. And it's like, like I've been in the community, like the Crow Bat, or what was that YouTube creator, Crow Bat or whatever, Crow Cat. He did a Dark Souls 1 versus remastered video that has 1.7 million views. So like it's well known in the community that the Dark Souls remastered is a fucked up version of the original game.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of people don't know that the Switch version is the original Prepare to Die version.
I mean,
you could play on PC if you bought it back in the day, but if you didn't, then you're totally screwed.
It's funny to see how people they now embrace the remaster more. Because I remember when it came out, the narrative was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is actively worse than what we're doing with like because there was the Prepare to Die mod or whatever. What was the name of the mod? There was an overhaul mod.
Oh yeah, I forgot what it was called. Yeah,
and it like fixed all the bugs, but it kept it where it was. It made it so like you're like everything that should have been done with the PC port of Dark Souls 1 that wasn't done was fixed by this mod. And then the remaster came out, and I want to say at the same time they stopped selling the original and they only sold the remaster, and people were doing like A to B comparisons of it, and there was so many areas where it was like, this is a explicit downgrade from what we had with the mod already. And anyone who played Dark Souls on PC used that mod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I get that, like, over the years, people have stopped caring, because over the years, especially in the last 2 years since Elden Ring came out, I'm sure a lot of people have just gone back to that version of Dark Souls Remastered, the one on PS4 or the one PC or the one on Xbox. And that's the fucked up version that everyone's been playing. But if that's just your first exposure to Dark Souls, then I get it, and you like the game, then yeah, that's a great version. And the problem is that I've just never been able to finish that version because I can't stand the visuals. So that's why the only version of Dark Souls that I can actually finish right today, besides if I downloaded a PC version, is just the one on Switch. It runs at a flawless, no, not flawless, but pretty much locked 30 frames per second. I actually did make it go kind of fucky in Blighttown, but I was just popping off firebombs and everything like that too. But yeah, otherwise Blighttown runs just fine too. Yeah, it is just. Here's the thing, Cowboy. You have been a member of the Souls community for a long time. A lot of people know that. I've been a member of the Souls community for a long time. I've been a player since Demon Souls Ground 1, and I always try to repeat that all the time. But it's fair if people don't know that. But I get so fucking tired of people like questioning my Souls like expertise. But you get that all the fucking time too. That's crazy. That you are like one of the most prominent creators, and you know these games inside and out, like in like a numerical value level, and yet people are still always like questioning you, like, well, why don't you do it? Like, does it drive you crazy? Like where do these people come from? Like where do these people get the gall to talk?
I don't know, man. I've gotten to the point where I just
How dare they talk to us like that? To be quite honest, right?
I just subsist off of sarcasm. Like, like I had someone, what were we doing? I was doing like an arcane build in Elden Ring, and I was fighting fighting the boss, and somebody's like, "Oh, bro, you should do this," and I was like, "Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell me how to build my arcane build? Here, let me look up arcane build. Oh, who's this guy? Here's an arcane build at level 150. Oh, it has like 1.3 million views. What's his name? FightinCowboy. That's me. It's like, it's my guy. Don't tell me what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're copying my arcane build this whole time. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Awesome. You can only just laugh it off. Like, yeah, you got to assume not everybody is privy to all the knowledge that we are. Mm-hmm. Like I know my whole catalog, not everyone does. So when people make an assumptuous statement like that, I don't know. It's a funny moment for chat. Chat gets a giggle out of it. I get a giggle out of it. I think that's just the best way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gene, they're just talking before thinking about it. It's just what people do. So
yeah.
Welcome though.
Yeah,
whatever.
My favorite one to replay is Dark Souls 1. I think it is the perfect balance. Well, not perfect, obviously. That some places are obviously not perfect, and we all know what places they are, right? But up to that point, there is a perfect balance of difficulty and tension that I think Dark Souls 1 hits that no other game in the series or in their entire catalog hits. In terms of like the bosses aren't that hard now anymore. Right? Because I was just doing Ornstein and Smo last night, right? And the run back to Ornstein and Smo, especially from the original Firekeeper Shrine, is annoying because there's those 2 guards right at the door, and then there's 2 more inside, and then there's a bow and arrow up top. So you still gotta like hold sprint and like time your roll, so make sure those 2 guards at the front don't hit you, so you don't have to take a swig or whatever like that. How about on the way, and make sure that the arrow doesn't hit you on the way over there, and then you get through there, and it's like there's just enough tension during the fight of Ornstein and Smo. It's just hard enough where I died a couple times during it, and I was like, this is cool. Like I'm not like frustrated, and I'm not like tightening my butthole the whole fight, but it is tense enough where like if I die, I'm gonna have to do that annoying run back again, and that's gonna piss me off. So I better not die here. So I still like the threat of a run back, versus like an Elden Ring where it's like, oh, I died, let me just try the boss again, right?
Yeah, but then you got stuff like the Seath the Scaleless run back.
Yes, of course. That's the part when the game starts to fall apart. I get it. So.
Actual pain.
Yeah, it's so painful, dude.
But here's the thing: Seath is easy enough. I feel like they balanced Seath easy enough because they knew that the run back was so atrocious that once you realize you know that you need to do something and you need to run around Seath and cut off his tail so you can get that sword, then maybe it's a little easier. But yeah, to be fair, obviously, again, I'm not here to defend a bed of chaos. So I'm not here to defend a bed of chaos and everything around that whole situation. So
yeah, how far are you at right now, Gene?
I am in Analondo, and I actually still haven't beat Ornstein Smoke yet. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually for some reason having a hard time. I'm actually camping there to grind because that's also a good spot to grind Twin Titanites. So I'm just upgrading my Silver Knight Straight Sword because I was able to get that drop.
Who do you kill first usually?
I always kill Smo first. I like the big Ornstein fight. So.
I usually do the opposite. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he's more close to you often, I guess. I don't know. For
sure. Yeah. Because Ornstein is so aggressive, right? He's just always on your ass. So he's like, okay. And then, Smo is always going to be hanging in the background, right? He's a little slower and he's always like charging up. And Ornstein just like kind of like has those stinger moves. And he has Devil May Cry moves on you, right? So you got to deal with him first. But I like the challenge also of like blocking with the pillars. And I mean, I just like the big Ornstein fight. That's all. I feel like that is a proper like climax to the fight versus Big Smo, So yeah. So I'm actually just stuck there, but I'm actually just camping and basically like leveling up and everything. So fun times. Went through Sense. Oh yeah. I played through all of Sense Fortress with the Joy-Cons because I was charging my Pro controller. So that was rough. Yep. I feel like everything I was doing on the Joy-Cons felt like a suggestion to the game, and then we'll see if I run or roll through. But yeah, Dark Souls 1, love it. It's my favorite one to replay. Yeah. It's and it's the only one that has the most like interconnected levels too. Yeah. Elden Ring obviously is a great one to replay too, but there's just so many different ways. I feel like it's easier to get powered up in Elden Ring than it is to get powered up in Dark Souls 1, because Dark Souls 1, you only have like so many options to get powered up early. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just Elden Ring, you can just go off and do so much different stuff you need to.
Yeah.
They can do, you do Grail, just going up to Grail, knocking out Grail and then getting the Source Seal. That alone, you'll get enough experience for, I don't know, 20, 30 levels. And then Source Seal alone is the equivalent of 20 levels stat-wise.
Oh, so that's right, yeah.
You can boost real fast in ER.
Yeah.
Cowboy, what's your favorite From Software game to replay right now?
In terms of full playthroughs, it's not my favorite FromSoft game, but probably Bloodborne. Only because I think each of the weapons, the trick weapons, I feel like they make playthroughs feel so different compared to the other builds. Like looking at like Elden Ring and Souls, like obviously like strength and dex play very differently, but I feel like you approach fights at an entirely different level depending on what type of trick weapon you're using, and I like that vibe. Totally. Most recently, I did a Beast Claws playthrough of Bloodborne, and it was completely unlike any other playthrough I'd done before. You're just constantly nomming down beast pellets. You're hyper aggressive the entire time. You're a glass cannon, but you're pumping insane amounts of damage. And it was really cool seeing like, how high can I push my damage? Because it gets to the point where it's like, you're fighting a boss and you were literally taking out like massive chunks, but like you could hit once, you're dead. So that was really cool. So that's probably Bloodborne, just because of that freedom and that flexibility.
Yeah, I agree with you. The trick weapons do add so much different gameplay. It's kind of crazy how different everything feels. I mean, obviously there's some weapons that are similar, but there's enough that are like pretty dramatically different where you really feel different. It's awesome.
What's your guys' favorite weapon in Bloodborne?
I think the Beast Cleaver is my favorite. It's like that big chain one that swings.
Probably the Germain Scythe.
Oh yeah, Gehrman's weapon.
That one's a really fun playthrough. I think that's what's unique. I think about like other games like Elden Ring. If I'm doing a strength playthrough, I'll have 4 or 5 different weapons depending on the situation. But like, Bloodborne, you're maxing out one weapon, and then once you get the DLC, you might have a second like a backup. But like, you're getting intimately familiar with that weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely you are.
Yeah.
You're
See,
learning how
my
to boost
problem
it.
is that I'm just a threaded cane like addict. You know,
Threaded
Oh,
like
okay.
I can't choose any other starting weapon, and then once I go threaded cane, I just like that's the rhythm I'm used to. You know, to be able to switch up between the regular swipes and the whip. But also, when I saw Bloodborne, I was like, oh, this is Castlevania. And then when I realized the threaded cane is just a whip, I was like, I'm just gonna fucking this is just my Castlevania game. I'm just gonna play this like it's Castlevania.
Yeah,
So
that's what I thought too, Gene, until the Beast Cutter came out from the
Sure,
DLC,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, now this is Castlevania. That whip is fucking heavy. You're like slamming guys with that thing.
yeah. That too. But and then for the DLC is the Moonlight Greatsword for me too.
Oh, of course, super fun. I like
Real
even
strong.
goofy weapons like the church pick. I think is fun.
Yeah. That was so great. Like, I wish Elden Ring had more like better like machine type weapons. You know.
Sure.
Only one I haven't done. And the next playthrough, I want to finally do it as a Bloodletter build.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's just hard to get because I mean it's like you get it at
far.
the end of the DLC,
It's
so like
very far,
you're
yeah.
not getting a hold of it
Mhm.
super late. So
Mhm.
it's more of like a new game plus type weapon.
Yeah,
But
man, I wish you could like once you beat the game or something, unlock something that let you get those weapons earlier or something
pick
fun
your
like
starting
that.
weapon.
Yeah,
like
that'd be
Resident
so
Evil, right?
fun.
Like Resident
Yeah.
Evil, where he's like, oh, you can get the rocket launcher at the fucking save box. Come on. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, or like
That
a
would be
built-in
cool. I would love
randomizer
that.
would
I
be
would
awesome.
love that.
Damn. All right, this is from Connor. Greetings, fellow Sun Bros. I'm super excited that Cowboy is. Oh wait, sorry, we read this one. This is just kidding, Connor. Thank you for earlier. This is from Cammy Black. Little ease it in softly question for here for Gene Park from the Washington Post. Let me set the scene. Gene is visiting Hawaii. Aliens invade. It's carnage, blood, guts, and pineapple litter the streets. And Gene can call upon one person to help reclaim the island. Your choices are Commander Shepard, Samus, or Kirby. Thanks, Cammy Black.
No, it's obviously Kirby.
I know. I knew you were going to say Kirby.
Yeah, I was like, that's a little tough. Commander Shepard is very unpredictable because you never know what she's gonna say or do. Right? She might go renegade. You know. And at that point, even at a renegade Shep, she's still very very unpredictable. You never know what mood she is.
She might punch you since you're a reporter, Gene.
Yeah,
Just like she does in the game.
exactly. You know, who was the journalist that she punched in the?
I can't remember.
I
It's been
forget.
too long.
Yeah, she could punch a journalist. You know, Samus would be cool. She'll get work done. But Kirby would be just like thorough. You know.
Delightful to be around.
Delightful
also.
and basically a nuclear bomb, you know.
Yeah.
a proper deterrent, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah, Kirby. What is he the most powerful in the Smash universe too?
yeah.
That's
Come
the
on, he's the
canon.
only one that survived the whatever Smash.
Yeah, the apocalypse there, the Smash apocalypse.
The Smash apocalypse. I forgot. It literally has a name. The incident. I totally forgot. But yeah.
Let's see, Cowboy. Who would you pick from those three?
I would probably take Samus, but then I would wife her and we would leave Hawaii and just live happily ever after somewhere else.
I mean that's the thing. Like I would just want to like marry
ending, yeah.
Samus, and it'd just be like toxic and probably not great. So I'm probably not good for her. So
Damn,
I don't want to ruin
maybe,
her life. You know.
Maybe she can give you some power armor or something. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Mix
Let's talk about some games.
Half Korean, half Chozo kids. You know.
Oh my god. Half Kirby, half Chozo. Ew.
Half Korean, half Chozo. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Kirby.
No,
I was like, ew, what?
No. Me,
Half Korean, half Chozo.
Kirby
okay.
does have that good suck gene, so
Yeah,
That's true. That's fucking true. All right, let's talk about what we're actually playing right now. Let's start with you, Cowboy. Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. I played the demo of this a while ago, and I thought it was a cool little game. How are you feeling, or how are you finding the game right now?
I'm really enjoying it. I grew up
Yeah.
playing a lot of turret defense type stuff, and so it definitely falls like kind of into that bucket. A little bit of action here and there. And my first thought playing it was like, it seems kind of too easy. But once you get going, Like the last mission I was on, I mean, you had dudes coming from the front, the top, the bottom. And so you got to like figure out, okay, how am I positioning stuff to where we're still covered, and start utilizing different environmental tools. Like there's areas where you could, put your archers up here. They're going to shoot farther, but they're going to be away from the pack, so they're unprotected. There's areas where you could, stop the goddess. It'll take me longer to reach the destination, but if she's here, she gets like a little shield. So it does a good job of pacing the evolutions of the combat and like adding you new units and whatnot. So I've been enjoying it a lot. Only real complaint is the currency that you use to like place your units out each mission. You can get that freely just going to your camps, but I am about a third down the mountain and I already have like 6 different camps. So if I'm low on my little crystals, I need to go to the first camp and then the second camp and then the third camp and then the fourth camp and get all those crystals. And it seems like, just whatever the latest camp is, just, hire some people with some carts, send all the crystals there. I want to get back into the mission. I don't want to spend, it's not long. You travel, you talk to the lady in the tent, you travel to the next one, but it's like, it seems very unnecessary. That's a really minor complaint, but I would like to see that get.
No, I think that's something that adds up over time. Definitely. Like having to go all those camps is just kind of tedious. Yeah. And it should be totally, you go to one camp and you get all the resources from all the camps at one time.
Yeah.
That alleviate a lot of it. So I guess just for anyone listening, Cowboy, who doesn't know exactly what the game is or how it works, can you explain the flow of it, the gameplay loop?
So the main loop is there's a path, like a start point and an end point, and you need to escort this goddess, this priestess, whatever you want to call her, to that point. But the game follows a day-night cycle. So during the daytime, you'll carve the path, like you'll set the path up to a certain point, expending resources to do so. But you also need those resources to turn villagers into your units. So the villagers start off just, nothing. There's people. And then based on how much resources you put, you give them like a mask. So they could be like an axe dude who's like a starter frontline, or an archer, or a sumo dude that serves as like a big tank and he pulls an aggro, or one that heals all your units. There's a bunch of different units. Where I'm at right now, I have, I think 6 different masks, and I'm still pretty early in the game. But so you're trying to get the goddess as far as you can, or find a good spot. Like, if I'm coming up right on like a big split and there's like 4 or 5 different directions, I could stop the path before that and be like, okay, I'll stop here. Then we have a natural checkpoint. I can put everybody right here to help protect her. And as the timer is always moving. So like you want to get her as far as you can, but also make sure that you're like clearing areas of defilement and whatnot, and then gearing up your units so that when night falls, you're like, okay, I got my sumo guy up front. I got all my archers ready to go. I've repaired this shield thing that's behind me, so I know nothing's going to come in and hit me from behind. So it's a little bit tower defense, a little bit management sim, a little bit like action, because you also control your guy. Like your character is running around and doing these, but like when night comes, like if I'm at like a big split and there's no way to defend it, I'll put all my dudes on one direction and I'll just run on the other. And so you're also like, you have a pretty much simple moveset, kind of follows like Dynasty Warriors logic. So, you have like 4 attacks, but you could go like light attack, heavy attack, light, heavy, light, heavy, and it'll do different combo chains. So you're fighting on one front, your units are defending on another front. You have like different specials you can choose to use. So yeah, for what is essentially like a tower defense, there's enough going on that actually kind of draws me in. I like the strategy aspect of it. And obviously it has that, kind of that yokai aesthetic fan. So lots of stuff about folklore and various yokai. And, I'm a big fan of Neo. I'm a big fan of just kind of a yokai and Japanese mythology surrounding that in general. And we were talking about on stream how like, you look at like American mythology, we have like Bigfoot and Mothman. It's very, nobody gets excited talking about like Mothman or the Jersey Devil. They're like, oh yeah, the Jersey Devil, getcha. But like, there's such an insanely rich lore surrounding like yokai and Night of 100 Demons and all this stuff that came out of Japanese folklore. And the game really dives deep into that. And so it's a vibe I really enjoy.
I assume you're an Onimusha fan then too?
I have not actually played Onimusha.
Okay. That sounds right up your alley then.
I might have to check that one out. Make it like a retro day or something.
Yeah, there's other Capcom classics. So when I played the demo, I do remember some of the more basic units like archers and just like, I think they're called lumbermen or something. They just had axes.
Yeah, axemen. Yeah.
do the units get any more like kind of crazy or supernatural, would you say?
So where I'm at right now, you have your archers, you have your axemen, you have your ascetic, who is like a status mage. They can like freeze
Right.
stuff in place and do damage over time. You have the sumo, which can do aggro, knockback. You have the thief, which is mainly utility. You can use it to like dig up chests. I just got the shaman, which will heal units.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not far enough yet, but people in chat have said there's like a sorcerer type class that can basically nuke the map. There's ninjas, there's riflemen. And the big thing is once you start upgrading your units, because this resource, like I think it's a Mushubi you get, and you can use that to upgrade your units, and you can freely refund it at any time, which is nice. So I've like had fights where I'm like, all right, this isn't cutting it. Let me try going just pure unga bunga. We're going to upgrade the axe dudes. I'm going to throw 6 axe dudes at it. I'm going to stun it, and they're all just going to smack it until it's dead. And I can just take all my points, put them into the axe guys, and then be like, okay, that's done. Cool. Let's spread these back out. But so as you're upgrading them, they start getting better abilities that I think not necessarily makes them kind of lean into it how you said, but it definitely pulls more usage out of it. Like I just got the sumo guys only upgraded halfway, but now they have like a big stomp that'll knock down all the units and do damage. So it just gives him good, like on top of aggro, he's got a little bit of CC built into his kit now. And then I fully upgraded the aesthetic, so they will put out this big AoE, freeze everything, and then do like a slow damage over time. And I found that one really good, just because anything that's like your weaker stuff, that's going to get popped off instantly. So then my actual attackers are focusing on the more robust enemies. So I think that's it's finding those little synergies like that I'm really enjoying with it.
Yeah. So the character you play as, like you said, he has like some attacks and a couple of special moves. Does he get any other upgrades besides, your special attacks you do, like the one where you can buff people up around you and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I know you have more coming where I'm at now. I got a mine one that's pretty fun. You can put like 3 different mines out in the field, and those will do damage and knockdown on enemies. I just got a shield one that I like a lot. I thought it was like a single use, but it's like a full-on barrier that causes like thorns type damage. So like there was this boss encounter that I'm trying to like hit because the bosses you can fight, there's like time attacks on them. If you beat the time attack, you get a new item. And the problem, I'm just not strong enough to get past this one because it's like a 90 second, and I'm hitting it at like a minute 50. So a little bit more, probably some stronger units to tackle it, but it's this boss that like bounces around and then dive bombs you. So I like baited it into the dive bomb, put up the giant thorn thing, crashed into the thorn thing, went to the ground, and then my whole army of axemen jump on top of it and start swinging. So you get to you can find some pretty cool stuff like that. Obviously, if you want, you can just sit with like the basic flame slash, but the abilities do seem pretty useful. There's one early on still, but the one I just got, it allows you to like knock away the enemies surrounding you, and it teleports you back to the priestess. So you can be like fighting on one side of the map, and then you get the like, I'm in trouble notification. It's just snap of the finger and you're right back on top of her, and it like, drops you in with a big AoE, knocking stuff away. So it seems like there's a fair amount, and at least looking at the thing, I think later we might get, I know we get multiple upgrades, but I think we might even be able to like swap abilities on the fly or something. Just looking at certain UI elements, it looks like there's things locked that, you're going to get access to.
So the maps you're talking about, there's like definitely spots where there's multiple routes enemies can come from. And you're talking about, cliffs and anything like that your units can stand on, which is cool for archers and stuff like that. Is there anything else in the environment you've come across that it's kind of different, I guess? Like, is there water or something that comes into play on the battlefield or anything like that?
Early on, the biggest things I've noticed, the last route I did yesterday, there's additional gates. So you start with like the one gate that obviously all the bads are coming from, and they can take whichever path they want. But then there were additional gates that would pop up. So it's, I'm facing forward, and then, hey, this gate back here is going to be summoning stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I either, I got to handle that, or I got to, position my units right to deal with that. In terms of the builder, so far, there's been the shielded things. There's these like buff towers you can create that'll increase, I think it's attack speed and damage. So that gives you like a nice spot to position people. There's the archer towers. And then I found you don't have to build it, but there's these areas where if the goddess stops on that during her path, it creates like a barrier that'll, I guess, zap anything that gets close to her. And so trying to figure out like, okay, can I can I get far enough past this thing, or are we gonna stop short, utilize that? And like I said, I think I'm at like my 6th level, and I think I'm maybe a third down the mountain. So it's been evolving fairly quickly. I have a feeling that like once you get closer to the end, that it's going to evolve a lot more. And the game definitely it rewards you for like replays. Like after you beat a mission, you'll get optional objectives you can complete. So like going and like the last one I did, I had to beat it while repairing 3 or less things. So I couldn't like create all the buff towers. I had to like pick and choose. And then I had to, what was it? It was buff towers. And then I had to use the priestess's barrier thing that I was talking about. I had to get like 10 kills with it. So I had like, okay, position my guys way up front, and then any stragglers that come from behind, we're just going to thumbs up and hope the barrier takes them out. And they actually did like a really good job. So I'm like, oh, okay. But I like that because it's showing you like it's an alternate challenge, but at the same time, it serves as like informational. Like, hey, this barrier is going to protect her. Like, you can use this. It will kill stuff. It's not going to stop a boss, but like, if she stays on this and you position your guys off, she's probably not going to be going down. She should do okay. So I've been liking the challenges and doing all that stuff. Sometimes it gets you new equipables. Sometimes it gets you more of that Musubi stuff. So where I'm at now, I've been doing that and then going through levels with a thief to like find the hidden chest. And so I'm just like upgrading everything I can to like be completely maxed out as I'm progressing. So I have like max archers, max aesthetics, halfway up through thief for lock chest, halfway up through sumo for like big AoE. And now I'm starting to build up resources because I don't want to. I had the axe dudes upgraded, but now that once you get sumo, I'm like, well, you were kind of my front line. This guy he does the same thing, but he hits everybody. So I think we're gonna retire you for the most part.
Yeah, cool. Gene, any interest in this game?
I had no idea it was like a tower defense strategy type game. All of this is very new to me. I haven't paid attention to the game at all. Obviously, I was a fan of Onimusha, but I was just like, I'll check it out once I hear more about it. So now I'm hearing more about it. I am now interested a lot more, actually. Part of it reminds me of like a more like an actually focused version of Shadow of War. Middle Earth. Not even Shadow of Mordor, but Shadow of War, where you actually have to like raid the castles and you have to have your little orc troops or whatever. But it wasn't really that strategic. Where obviously this one is like you're actually building your front lines and you're building your classes. That sounds awesome. I wonder if have you played any of the Dynasty Warriors Empires games at all, Cowboy? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's a little bit akin to that? Obviously, a lot messier, Dynasty Warriors. But you're still choosing which like where to go, like which battlements will go where, right?
I would say it's a little more micro and focused.
Yeah.
I haven't played Empire since probably 4, and I remember it being very like almost risk level, like high level, like okay, go here.
Very, very, very high level stuff. Yeah. So like everything you're talking about sounds like a more drilled down version of like a lot of these things, and it sounds really like, and the fact that you can still have action, like you can still play as an action character, like amidst all that sounds fucking awesome. Actually, that sounds really, really cool. Did not know the game was like this. I thought it was just a straightforward action game. So yeah.
I mean, it sounds a lot more interesting. It's been a good comfy game too. Just like
and it's also in Game Pass too. And I know I don't subscribe to Game Pass anymore. It's not useful to me. But it might be useful for this one, if I can get a good deal or even for $20, not a bad deal. So I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's like I think it's $50 otherwise, so it's not a full price game.
No kidding. Okay,
yeah,
I might support it, but I might check it out on Game Pass first real quick. Maybe when that rumored Modern Warfare 3 drops.
Oh yeah. Sure,
I'll play it. Although I already own Modern Warfare 3, so whatever. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem with Game Pass, man. Like, I already own all the games I want to play there.
Yeah,
look at all the games you can play. I was like, yeah, I played them all.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
That's usually my thing too.
I think the best value I've seen in it. I was getting heavy into ESO for a little bit, and Game Pass Ultimate. I don't know if it still does, but at the time, it gave you it covered your Xbox Live script, which you need to play ESO. But it also gave you all of the expansions. So it was like almost like a built-in ESO Plus at the time. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll do this for like 2 or 3 months. I'll get get my ESO fix in. And then that was right when Elden Ring came out. And I was like, all right, sorry, no time for you right now. Go away. I'm busy. But
Yeah. I thought about playing ESO because of that. Like, I was like, that's a good deal. Like, that's a good way to make this worth something. You know.
I mean, I think that's the best way. Like when I think about Game Pass, I usually think about like, all right, when do I have a downtime period where I can pick this up for a month or two, and then maybe visit some games that rent it that I haven't visited, or utilize it for something like that, like a subscription based thing. Which, what I'm curious now that Microsoft has Blizzard. I think a potential sell, which who knows if it'll happen, but include World of Warcraft in Game Pass.
Yeah,
Totally.
I've been wondering.
I know it's been a talking
time.
point, but that would be, I think, a really big one for them.
You know what? I've never played WoW.
I wish.
WoW was a huge like knowledge gap in terms of like my knowledge of history of video games, right? So if they actually made WoW for console and an Xbox,
I mean, they could. I play it on Steam Deck.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm in. I'll be in there completely, totally. You know,
yeah.
That on top of like Call of Duties and like day one, like you could make Game Pass valuable. It's just not right now. You know, they just don't have it. But
sure,
there's a lot of avenues where it could be really, really, really awesome. But I don't know.
Yeah, with Game Pass, I usually just do like a month or two, then I'm out, kind of thing. I'm not like a yearly subscriber. Like I did this month for a game we're going to talk about later. But yes, I do wonder about WoW being in that, because that would be an awesome deal if they made it a part of it. Because it's like WoW's like 15 already a month or something like that. So
they might be coming up on their 20 even.
$20 a month. Holy shit!
No, I meant 20 years.
Oh no! Yeah, I meant the monthly price.
Yeah, they follow the 16 a month, or if you do 6 months, it's like 13 or whatever. Because I know I already got
right.
I played a little bit of the Dragon expansion, and to get that, they were like, buy War Within and you get the dragons for free. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll buy your expansion. So, and now, of course, I got 2 friends, and we're like, all right, we're all going to level. We're picking out our classes.
Nice.
And whatnot, so
yeah, if you got buddies to play with, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, but it's tough for you to play WoW though, because you're an FF14 player too.
Yeah, I mean, I played WoW since it came out all the way up till Dragonflight.
Yeah,
and now I'm just kind of like, I think I'm good for a while. No desire to come back quite yet.
I'll only do casual MMOs now. Like back, probably a little, I don't want to say trauma dumping, but kind of life dumping. When I got out of college, fresh out of college, I had my first job. I was doing eye tracking research. These people were working with like PCs that were like older than what I was gaming on. It was like, y'all need to update all your hardware. They're like, how much is that going to run? I'm like, basic budget, probably like, 15 to 20,000. They ended up deciding to just scrap the entire program. So me and a bunch of other people got laid off. And there I was with like a fresh graduate with a master's degree. And so every job I was applying to was not hiring me because I was overqualified. So I was like stuck on unemployment for like 6 months. Man, that unemployment World of Warcraft rabbit hole, that's a dark place.
Oh, shit.
That is a dark place.
Oh, shit, yeah.
It borderline, it consumed my life for a good while. Like that was it. I played WoW. That's all I did was play WoW. It didn't work out. Stopped going fishing. I just play WoW. Now, thankfully, I'm like, I'll dick around on you for like an hour or two. You're not. I know your drugs, your secrets. We're not. We're not falling down this hole again.
I've told this many times before, but FF14 was and it wasn't 6 months. I had a job, and my job pulled me aside and says, Gene, you need to you didn't get your shit. You didn't sort it out. You didn't get your shit together. You have been coming into work late. Sometimes you don't come in at all. And I'm like, yeah,
but yours, yeah.
Yeah. So I did that for like a month and a half, and I quit and so that's how I got to the end of Realm Reborn. I got to the end of Realm Reborn, and I was like, you know what? Like, this is dangerous for my life. I'm gonna stop right now. And then, of course, everything, like the game gets a lot better afterwards. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend dumped me at the time,
shit.
Mine cheated on me during my WoW days, dude.
Yeah, she did cheat on me, but but I get it. But I stopped getting pussy, and my boss, my job was angry at me because of fucking Final Fantasy 14.
MMOs destroy lives. The
they do.
Yeah, they do.
I feel like FF14 did more tangible damage to my life than meth has ever done. Completely.
Everyone goes through a weird MMO phase, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or most people do, where you just get real filthy playing it. But most people come out of it.
Just
So
become
good.
real degenerate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me when WoW came out. I was like ditching school or some shit.
Dude,
even though
WoW launched though, like there was nothing like that.
there was exactly that's why it was the craziest fucking game
so
at the
insane.
time.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like I would go on WoW to talk to my friends because just everyone was on there. So like that.
Yeah. I was scared of that because I knew the power of WoW, right? And it was funny since we're trauma dumping. My ex, so I used to be engaged, and then when my ex fiance cheated on me, I thought about going to. I distinctly remember being at Walmart and looking at the WoW box, like back when PC still had physical releases, and I was like, man, it's only like $15, like I could just do it. I was like, no. Like I need to get my shit together. I don't want to be a dumped like gamer or whatever like that. And then I find out later she got fucking addicted to WoW after you broke up.
Oh my god.
She got hugely addicted to WoW, So I'm like, fuck. All right, well.
Should have got it and then hunted her down and just camped her.
I guess.
Yeah,
This is what you get for messing with my heart. Go respawn again. Enjoy your repair costs.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, man. Wow. Crazy days. Yeah, I think it's the 20th anniversary this year. I think it came out in like December or November, I want to say. But time flies. Time to make WoW 2 already, guys. Enough. No more expansions. WoW 2. Make it happen. All right. Gene. Let's talk about NES World Championship. Now, right off the bat, Gene, I gotta ask, is this game like NES Remix?
I never played any NES Remix.
Okay.
What was that like?
It's a bunch of like, so I didn't play very much of it, but my understanding was you would do like a bunch of little challenges in like old Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what it is. That's
Okay.
pretty much what it is. You got 13 games on there, and there's like a track on each one.
Mhm.
So like there's like a whole like track of Mario challenges that escalate, and then there's a whole track of Zelda challenges that escalate.
Okay.
So I actually haven't been playing that much, but the problem is that this is a really good party game for people who have people around you.
Really?
Because online really isn't. There's no online leaderboards or anything like that. So. I'm really just taking the opportunity to kind of complain about that. The fact that Nintendo,
that's whack, dude.
This is like a long sorted out for Nintendo, where it's like, man, like in a way, I admire like Nintendo saying, you should touch grass, you should meet people, you should reconnect with the people in your life, invite them to your home, and play a video game with them. So I get that. But man, like if it'd be nice if we just be able to just be a total like speedrunning degenerate and just play and try to beat scores on an online leaderboard. So that's pretty much what it is. But I did do an unboxing on my YouTube for NES World Championships. $60, but it comes with a bunch of shit, including cards and pins and the golden cartridge and everything like that. So I don't know. It's kind of like not a good collection, but it's also fun to play. It's also good for streaming, if you want to play with a bunch of friends or just challenge yourself. But otherwise, I don't know.
Well,
it is what it is.
Let's talk about like what it's like. So let's say you boot up the game, Gene. You're playing the game. How does things progress? Like, where do you start? Give me a run through of it.
Well, the game actually starts by telling you, "Hey, you might not have even been alive." Literally, it will tell you you may not have even been alive when this shit happened. And it's very bare bones. I'm not kidding. It just says it just throws you in to these tracks, and you just do it. You just say collect these 10 coins.
That's it, and then it goes on to the next challenge.
It just goes on to the next challenge. I was like get to the flag, at Mario, that kind of thing, in Zelda, it will just start off with get the sword. How fast can you get the sword, and then it will just escalate from there.
Well, like in Zelda 1, like get the
Zelda
first
1,
sword.
Yeah.
So you just walk through the cave door.
Go into the cave and get the sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like WarioWare, like in terms of that.
I see.
Yeah. So then it'll throw you like here are like 5 likes, like kill them,
Okay. So it has Mario, Zelda.
Yeah.
What else has it got?
Donkey Kong, Balloon Fight, Kid Icarus,
Metroid.
Excite Bike, which is awesome.
Metroid, okay.
Yeah. Part of me wishes that we just had these 13 games on the cartridge too.
Yeah, the real games actually.
Yeah, just get the real games and get them off Nintendo Switch Online. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I guess part of the pull, from what I can tell, is that it is a good way to tease Nintendo Online and say, "Hey, you want to play the rest of these fucking old games? Just subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online." And
that's the most Nintendo thing to do possible.
I think that's why, again, I think it is a very Nintendo thing to do. It's like, this is a teaser for the games that you can play for $20 a year, Nintendo Switch Online. So
is this a full price game?
Yeah, it's 60 for the championship. Yeah, 60.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know anything about it. I've been looking it up while you were talking about it.
Yeah.
So, Gene, this sounds to me like a game you play in very short bursts, almost like an arcade game, I guess.
It's pretty much like an arcade game, yeah.
Huh. So there's not a lot to this? It's just small challenges like that? There's no other modes or anything?
There are. I have, again, I wish I came better prepared.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. But, because again, I just haven't played it that much with other people.
Sure.
That's the thing. Like, if you have a family, you should play this.
Yeah.
If you have like a funny discussion I've seen on our Reddit is like how social each member of LSM can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so a lot of people are making fun of Colin because Colin admits this. Like Colin is a complete fucking hermit. Like, he doesn't talk to anybody. He only talks to his wife and then us, and then that's it, right?
Yeah.
Dustin actually regularly invites people over to his house to play video games. He's not a complete degenerate, like me or Colin are. So, and I have a lot of friends. None of them fucking play video games. I have no friends in real life, like, around me that play video games. I fucking hate it here in Washington, D.C., right? Driving me insane. So I just don't have anybody to invite over to play video games with regularly.
Damn, dude.
So, this is just not a good game for me. But for Dustin, who's about to have a child, right? Mm-hmm. Who has a wife that plays video games, and who has friends that come over, that could work. So.
Okay.
Just a friendly warning to people, but also, if you're a huge Nintendo fan, the only reason why I have it is because I'm a Nintendo fan, and I should just own this. So
sure, yeah. Trying to think. So there's really no online functionality, no online leaderboards, like you said. Really, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's just such a big missed
online, but that's about it. Though.
Okay.
So.
They need just a global leaderboard, man. That'd be so much more exciting.
Yeah.
For, like, if you're playing single player or whatever. But yeah, it sounds like, from what you said, have friends around you locally if you're going to play this game.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. I would check it out, but I don't know if I want to spend $60 on this fucking thing right now for, like, little bite-sized snippets of these games.
It's probably, like, more in line, like, the Metacritic is around, like, 70 or something. I think that would be about right. It's probably more in line with, like, not 1-2 switch. It's cooler than 1-2 switch, obviously. A lot more gameplay, but it's probably more in line with that 1-2 switch snipper clips. Like,
Snipper clips is a great game, man.
Yeah, snipper clips is great.
No slander here.
Yeah. Those snipper clips was great. Great launch title. Mario Party obviously is another game where great to play.
Yeah. At least you can play that online.
That's why I think NES World Championships is another one in line with that, where it's like, this is another Nintendo game where they kind of prefer you to play with your friends versus everything else. So, and then you can play online, but we'll play with people and you're competing with people versus this is a World Championships. But I remember back in the day when I was a kid, even on Guam, the qualifying matches were at the Blockbuster.
Cool.
To qualify for the NES World Championships. It was like the first esport, and we're just wrapping up Evo right now. So it's been interesting to see esports grow since Nintendo World Championships. But,
very interesting.
I need to visit Evo someday. I think I want to play. I think I'm going to try.
Yeah, you should play.
Yeah,
enter. What game do you want to play?
I think it has to be Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not good at them and I haven't trained at all, but it's like, if there's a game I do want to get good at, it would be Street Fighter. I did used to be pretty good at Virtua Fighter 4. Actually, I actually trained, like, deliberately to be, like, a really, really good player at Virtua Fighter 4. But obviously, no one fucking plays Virtua Fighter anymore. So.
Yeah, it's not really
Absolutely
around.
dead game. Absolutely dead esport. Like very very sad. But yeah.
Hey, maybe they'll bring Virtual Fighter back. Who knows? That 5 remaster apparently did very well for them. So
Yeah,
never
well,
know.
I did an interview with Sega earlier this year when they announced like Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi and all of that, and I was like, well, what about Virtua Fighter, man? Like, I literally just asked about Virtua Fighter, and they said we're looking for ways to make Virtua Fighter like more like exciting, like with special moves and everything like that. You know, so they're definitely trying to like modernize and popularize Virtua Fighter, and it basically turned into Tekken, I guess. I don't know. Fuck.
Sure. 3D fighter, yeah.
We'll see. But I mean, that's a bummer because, you know, the great thing about Virtua Fighter is that it's hard. that it isn't like Soul Calibur or Tekken, you know, that or Mortal Kombat. That you do have to train really hard to be good at it. You know, that the button movements for Virtua Fighter aren't like quarter circle. You know, you got to go all over the place. So I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry to go on a Virtua Fighter tangent about
no.
World
Yeah,
Championships.
no worry, dude. If Virtua Fighter gets brought up, I'm going to listen because no one brings it up. So
yeah,
whatever. I'm down for it. Cowboy, any interest in this NES World Championship? You're a father, correct?
I am.
You got little ones?
Mine are way too young to.
Way too young? Okay.
To be trying that. I mean, it's cool. My thing is, I think because I grew up playing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, the nostalgia just doesn't work for me. I think it's because I grew up seeing how games progress. So when people talk about like retro gaming, I'm like, you know, I don't know. I don't enjoy nostalgia gaming, I guess. I'm just like, you know, I've been there. I lived that life. I want to play something newer. Like the oldest I'll usually go back is like Final Fantasy X. I was replaying that recently. Actually, no, that's not true. I picked up the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection. I was playing that, but I'd never played those before, so that wasn't really a nostalgia revisit as much as like I want to experience this story.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, like going back.
How was that? How was that experience?
Pretty good. I'm only like partway through it.
Okay.
Mainly, I usually play when I'm traveling, and lately it's been just no travel. So I was like, I was getting up through 6. I was about halfway through it when I got home, and the Shadow of the Erd Tree dropped, and my Steam Deck gaming experience has been cut down to nothing recently. but that's been fun. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, something hard about like going back and playing retro games for me. I lose my interest.
That's interesting you say that, because I've been wondering about that myself, you know. And I'm always telling people, oh, you should play old games. Shut the fuck up, you know. Just play the old games, right? And then I just bought Rocket Knight Adventures from Limited Run, right? They just came out with a physical edition and Rocket Knight Adventures. All 3 old Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games. Booted it up. I loved these games when I was a kid. I booted it up and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I played it for like about 20, 30 minutes and I just stopped. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep playing that, actually. You know?
Yeah, they're just much simpler games.
Yeah, it's just really simple. I get it. Like I get it. I wonder how far back I can go. I can probably like play Super Mario. The Mario games are timeless for me, right? But I do think that there might be a point where it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm just playing it, just play it, and I'm not really like enjoying it or relaxing, you know, at this point. Which is why I play games. I just want to relax. Which is why I play Dark Souls 1 so much, right? So I wonder how far back I would have to go. I think PlayStation and the Final Fantasy games, like old JRPGs, would work. You know, like Dragon Quest 3 would be like a great game to replay. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it. I was remembering how like I remember in the summers we would visit like my grandparents' house up in Michigan, and they had I want to say it was like an old Sega Genesis that was there, or it might have just been an NES. I don't know. But the games, I mean, there would be like River City Rumble. There was like this weird Disney game full of like different mini games. There was like Disney Blackjack and then racing. I think it was like Disney Treasure Island or something. And like thinking back, those were like really fond memories, you know, like summer visiting grandma's, and, you know, you go on the lake and do some fishing and paddle boating. And then I'd come and play these games. But at the same time, I think part of the reason those memories are so fond is because like that was so cool back then. But like looking at that now, I'm like, so I just like press the button a couple times. Like that's not enough to keep me entertained anymore. You know, it's like if you grew up eating butter noodles and you're fine with just butter noodles, and then suddenly you've had like rigatoni. You're like, you know, it's such a better flavor profile. You're like, yeah, the butter noodles was great, but like, I have better things to eat now. Like, I don't want to go back to that.
I think that's why I haven't really played a bunch of NES World Championships too. I think I'm kind of discovering that about myself. That maybe I don't need to play old 8-bit and Super Nintendo games anymore. You know, outside of like Final Fantasy, which I think and that's why the
story. You're there for the story too, not the gameplay, really.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and also, you know, just the classic JRPG experience, which still persists today. You know. But yeah, like playing Rocket Knight Adventures is like, okay, I climb up this tree and then that's the other path, and then that's it for me. It's like, okay, I need a little bit more engagement in terms of like pathfinding and secrets and stuff like that, and action too. So yeah, I totally get it. So that's why I think those two games are kind of teaching me what Cowboy has already learned about himself. That you know, you might have outgrown these games at this point. I don't know.
Sure, you can outgrow games.
You know?
I personally
I think like games. GameCube, PS2, PS1 is probably the closest I can be to being pretty comfortable, because I played Metal Gear Solid 1 a couple months ago, and I had a great time still. So
yeah, I love a lot of those old Nintendo games still, like Zelda 1 on NES. I still adore that game. Yeah, it's very simplistic, but I kind of like that about some games. I like the simplicity of a lot of them. And games nowadays where you have like fucking 20 stats to manage or some shit. It's nice, and it's nice once in a while just to be like attack and move, and that's about it. But
it's a reflection of the struggles of adulthood between a mortgage and relationship and kids. We yearn for simpler times of just attack and dodge.
Yeah, simpler times, dude. Are you guys gonna play? You guys think you'll be playing Dark Souls in like 10 more years though, or you think it'll be too old for you then?
I don't know.
10 more years, we're gonna have a haptic suits in Dark Souls VR. Every time you die, it shoots an electrical current up your spine or something.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah, that would be a good challenge, you know. Hopefully by then it'll just be good enough, you know. I'm actually like weaving through Sen's Fortress pretty good, even with the Joy-Cons. I mean, I died a couple times, obviously, in real, but like I was dodging those guillotines like really easily, no problem.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just curious when we see the next big jump in gaming, you know, like going from like 2D to 3D. Like I feel like the evolution of 3D graphics ramped up relatively fast. In my mind, at least. I mean, I don't know. It feels like just yesterday we were playing PS2, PS3.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I remember seeing Mario 64 for the first time.
Yeah, you're blown away.
Being like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I've never seen anything like this kind of thing. It's like, moments like that are not going to be as prevalent nowadays.
Yeah.
I thought VR would kind of be the next big thing, but you know, VR is popular, but it's not as popular as I thought it was going to be probably originally. Where you get that feeling of like, whoa, this is completely new kind of thing.
We need that anime VR where you can like smell, taste, touch.
Actually,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
the full dive VR where we got.
The Sword Art, the Sword Art Online VR, basically. Yeah, I think that's where it needs to go, because like, you know, we could talk about Hellblade 2. I was playing Hellblade 2 and I was like, man, imagine if a game like Elden Ring, as big as Elden Ring, looked like Hellblade 2. And then I thought about that. I was like, I don't know if it would be that impressive though. I don't know if I'd be like it would be cool and I would fucking love it, you know. But it's like, I don't know if it'll like blow my mind the way Mario 64 did.
I feel like graphics have just they've plateaued, you know, like you can only look so realistic before it's like, you know, I'd rather have slightly like, imagine playing Elden Ring looking like Hellblade, or imagine playing Elden Ring but like, you know, binaural audio and you can like smell the grass and shit. You'd be like, this is, you know, a different level of immersion playing with their senses.
Exactly. I think only the visuals can only go so far. Like I think we definitely need to like reach another dimension of gaming, I guess, to kind of really get that feeling. But man, I'm glad that we all lived through that period though, to see that kind of shift in time.
The evolution.
Yeah, the evolution. It felt good. Felt good. It felt like
it was awesome.
Yeah, it felt like we were like really like possibilities were endless, you know. And now the possibilities are hero shooter and
Souls like hero shooter. Souls like hero shooter.
Souls like a hero shooter. Those are the possibilities.
Well, people will be uploading their consciousness or whatever into some computer, so you'll be able to do crazy video game shit like that in the future if you want.
Dying? Hell no, baby. Upload me into the cloud.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Please,
Put me
I
in
would
this
do it right
robot.
now if I could. I would do it right now, immediately. You know, if Neuralink meant more immortality, then yeah, I'll do it. You know, fuck
Yeah.
my brain out.
Fuck my brain out. Let's see. Clark Petrie
That's
wrote in.
NES World Championships, kids.
We got some questions for it, Gene. This is from Clark Petrie. Gene, what were your times for the first weekly challenges in NWC? I was 5.0, 5.83, 25.48, 42.18, and 29.25, all first attempts. I'm in love with this game and excited to see Nintendo giving its history some love in this capacity. As a bonus, the game has introduced my 5-year-old to some retro experiences, which brings me joy. Lastly, do you foresee Nintendo adding more content to this game, this gem of a game over time? I don't expect it to get the Mario Kart 8 treatment, but Punch-Out or Dr. Mario would be welcome additions. Anything you'd like them to add? Be well, summoners. Chris Petrie. P.S. Gene, I'm the tall guy who was on the train back from Sacred 300 with you. A coincidence I still smile about.
I remember that, man. Yeah, thanks for saying hi. That was a really cool experience. Yeah, I don't know my times. Again, I played so little of this game. You played a lot more than me. I do think that they might probably expand it a little bit more. Probably like the way they did the Switch Sports. You know, they're just adding fucking basketball now. So they'll probably add Dr. Mario or Punch Out, which I think are two perfect ones, and just leave it at that. So I doubt it's going to be like a full Smash Ultimate Seasons and Mario Kart 8 kind of thing. Like really, like it's Mario Kart and Smash is when they really go all out for like actual online expansions. But so far they haven't really done anything other than like the Zelda DLC, which even Tears isn't even getting to.
Right.
So,
totally.
Yeah, I definitely think that support for this game will be limited. I think I do agree with your point, though, about how Nintendo celebrates its history. Imagine if Concord, I forgot who I heard this from, but fucking imagine if Concord didn't have all new characters, but it was a hero shooter starring PlayStation characters.
I honestly don't know if it would do that much for it. I don't know.
I would like the characters more.
Because, you thought, like, the idea when they did PlayStation All-Stars, you're like, oh, shit, it's Smash, but PlayStation characters. You'd think that'd be a home run.
Yeah, but I think the Smash formula is just harder to do. Like, look at Multiverses.
Well, they did some things in that I don't agree with. Yeah, they literally should have just copied Smash, like, one-to-one gameplay-wise, and probably would have done better. Yeah. But, like, I don't know, hero shooter, you're fucking...
Where you're Drake. Nathan Drake.
Yeah, you're Drake or you're
versus Kratos.
That princess. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just like...
Yeah, and it's all first person Ratchet.
Yeah. Abby, it's like, I don't know, man. She has like the golf clubs or ultimate or something. I don't know. Some shit like that.
Exactly. Come on. You don't think that sounds fun?
I think it would be more well received, honestly, Gene.
She had a golf club ultimate, dude.
I don't know if it would have the legs, the staying power they want, but it'd probably be a lot more funny if they did that, and especially if they leaned into memes like that or something.
Yeah.
Like, it has like a Subway sandwich or some shit.
Yeah, you can get a Subway sponsorship again.
Yeah.
And Kratos will have Atreus as a summon, whatever.
Yeah. Boy, yeah, that's like his old
just boy, and then Atreus will come in and just light up the field with arrows. It's just an AOE.
Who the fuck said this, Gene? Who's the mad person that came up with this idea?
I forgot. I think it might have been like someone on Spawncast or something. I think I was listening last night, but I think it was like OJ Player Essence. He was like, yeah, it should have been a hero shooter with like PlayStation characters. I was like, yeah, actually, that'd be fucking stupid and funny as hell.
That's definitely.
And he was like, it needs to be third person. I was like, no, actually, I think it'd be cool if it was just first person. just fuck it. Don't see any of these characters.
I would not green like that.
Fuck it, Kratos in the first person. You're just like,
yeah. It would be very funny. Yeah. What's the Sir Daniel Fortescue or whatever from Medieval? They could do a lot of like weird characters, but I don't know.
Aloy too, and you
Yeah,
know
of course,
she's really got
Aloy,
the
same
slides
thing.
and everything too. And she's really got the traversal down, right?
Yeah,
So,
Oscar from
yeah.
Demon Souls just running around.
Oh yeah, they do own Demon Souls. They could do that. They could do someone from Bloodborne. They could do anyone, Eileen or something. They could do anybody. But
See,
I'm sure
the more you're talking about
this
Brad,
orphan of Koss just swinging around the center. Just so out of
screaming the whole time. Yeah. Okay. Now you're selling on me. You're selling
lead
this idea to
into
me
how
more
disparate like the Sony IPs are. You know, it's ridiculous. You know.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
That you put a Bloodborne character like that in there, then maybe yes, maybe I green like that. That'd be so stupid it might actually work.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have to have like a trailer introducing the quirky characters of Concord. Anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They could do like some storyline, I guess. They could keep their story element to it, and it's just all those characters interacting with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they could pull it off like Nintendo could, but it would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nintendo. I mean, no one really does pull it off like Nintendo can in terms of like being able to like have their IP. You know,
in some fields, yeah, Nintendo.
yeah, which is why like Astrobot is like so beloved, and like people are excited for Astrobot because like Astrobot is like the only way PlayStation has been like nicely honoring its legacy too. So and Xbox doesn't do jack shit. So you know,
that's true.
Xbox fucks up the Halo show. That's what we get. You know,
fuck up the Halo show and they tweet a picture of the Duke controller. Call it a day.
Yeah.
Remember this? Remember hurt your hands?
How big this controller was?
Yeah, that's how far the nostalgia goes for Xbox. Remember how shitty we used to be?
Cowboy, I'm curious, man. Since we were talking about NES Championship, do you enjoy Nintendo games at all?
Occasionally. I used to play Smash a lot with friends. These days, it's harder to get together because we're like, four different dads. So it's like the stars aligning that all the kids are asleep and none of us are already going to bed for us to be able to play.
Yeah, but you don't put on Zelda videos. I haven't seen any.
No, I tried really hard to get into like Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom, and that game just didn't click with me. And I learned that Zelda fans, they don't care. Like I was trying to stream it. I was like, I just don't think this is for me. And they're like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay.
No, you're a fucking idiot.
I'm like, no, like there's good things here. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's not for me. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? No. Like, I'm not even saying anything bad. I'm saying I just don't want to play this. Like,
yeah, I don't get how that is such an unacceptable thing to hear for some fans. Like, I'm a huge Zelda fan. Tears of the Kingdom is like my third favorite game of all time. That doesn't bother me in the slightest bit. Like, I get it. Like,
yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I totally get why you would totally fall off the game.
The last Nintendo game I went all the way with was Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh, sure.
Which if I'm going to go JRPG, Shin Megami Tensei is like, that's my jam.
Dirty, gritty JRPG.
Yeah. I wish I did not do Apocalypse. I had people asking, and I'm like, man, this is like 100 to 150 hour game if you really want to do everything. Yeah. Like, I don't have time for the reboot with the same story. I don't. Like, there's too much stuff going on right now. Like, if I end up in a hospital bed for 3 months, I'll get it. And then
yeah, not right now though. Kaz didn't risk wrote in. Gene, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I am curious to hear a little bit more. Gene, did you get the NES World Championship Deluxe Physical Edition? If so, what do you think? I personally think it's one of the coolest collector's editions for a game with pins, gold cartridge, and cards, especially for the price. Keep it up, Nintendo Physical Media. Do you know how much this was for the collector's edition, Gene?
$60. So you might as well
collector's edition.
Yeah, you might as well get it. Yeah, just $60 collector's edition. So you might as well get the collector's edition for $60.
Oh,
because you get the gold cartridge, you get the
cool.
Nintendo sleeve, you get a postcard for each of the games, and like it's really cool art that you can probably hang up on your wall.
So what was the regular edition?
Huh? Yeah,
is the regular also $60?
I think yeah, I think so.
I only see deluxe set. Hold on. Physical. Maybe you could only buy the deluxe set physically. Maybe that's the only version.
Mhm.
Yeah, that might be it. Let me go to
Digital is $30, but
Okay,
physical it's $60.
Okay, yeah. So the
Yeah.
physical comes with all the goodies at 60. And then,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
just
at
want the
60.
games. Okay.
So.
Okay. That's
But
not a
yeah,
bad price,
it is a solid buy. I agree that it is probably the best collector's edition for a game I've had in a long time, and that includes, Mesmer and Shadow of the Erdtree, because that's just a fucking statue, and that's just sitting there,
Yeah,
didn't even
that's
come in the
statue.
game, whereas the collector's edition came with cards and pins and the cartridge, and like the cartridge itself is like has its own display, so really
Mhm.
cool stuff. Definitely worth getting. So.
Cool.
Especially if you're a Nintendo collector. Like if you're like Cowboy, like you kind of like lapsed out of Nintendo, then not a
Yeah.
big deal. But
Well, $30 I think seems like a fair price for the game.
yeah,
I thought it
totally.
was 60 only, and I was like, I don't know about that, but $30, sure.
Yeah.
A lot more reasonable.
Yeah, for a party game that you can have, and especially if you want to bring your old heads around. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, boys. Let's talk about what I've been playing. I've been playing Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. So this is from the developers that made Ashen many years ago, which was a Souls-like also. This game is kind of like that also, but it definitely is more unique than Ashen, I would say. So one big aspect right away is there's an emphasis on platforming in this game. Like, obviously, you could jump a lot, but there you got a double jump you can do. You got like this jump and forward dash you can kind of do. There's a lot of platform in the game where it requires you to jump over stuff, climb stuff. There's these rifts, these like dimensional rifts you can unlock on the map where you can like zoom through them really fast. So that comes into play a lot. So immediately that helps separate the game from other ones in the pack, because that's good, because things like combat in this game, in my opinion, are not very good. Hits do not feel good, in my opinion. Everything kind of feels like a little sloppy. You hit some guys and their animations feel a little sloppy. They're not very crisp. They kind of like their telegraphed attacks are feel a little random at times. Like sometimes an enemy will attack really quickly, or I don't even have time to react, or sometimes it'll be really slow. And it's kind of hard to find a pattern in it to understand when they're doing that kind of stuff.
Well, you need the parries too to get the rifle charges back.
So exactly. Have you been playing this too?
I previewed it. They sent me like a 3-hour demo, which took like an hour. And then it fell from like I'm looking forward to this into this is a maybe category. So
yeah, I would say it's like a maybe. Like I got it. I'm playing on Game Pass right now. It's like, honestly, that's a great way to play it. It reminds me back in the day when you'd rent a really good game, like a great rental game. You're like, yes, this is going to be a sick, fun weekend. I'm glad I rented this and I don't have to pay full price for it. To be fair, though, this game is not full price. It's also $40. So that is nice. But yeah, you got your basic elements, your normal attack. You have this pistol that you have a lot of time, or the game throughout the game. You can use it to shoot dudes, of course, but there's also the typical nowadays, something glows red on an enemy, you can't block that or something like that. You can dodge it, but if you can shoot them like a Bloodborne parry almost and knock them kind of down, which is fine. And they also have this meter, because you have this like weird little fox demon with you. I forgot his name. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Enki, I think his name is. Enki. He's like this weird little fox demon that follows you around, and you can use him in combat by pushing like the triangle or the Y button. He will kind of swing and hit the enemy a couple times, and it builds up this meter on him or on enemies when you do it. So once you eventually get the meter build up, it'll leave the enemy vulnerable to a state where you can either kill them right out if they're just normal, but if they have armor on or something like that, like a helmet, reducing their damage, it'll knock their armor off. Then you can start chipping away at the health a lot quicker, which is cool. I do actually enjoy kind of stuff like that. It's a weird game because I think the ideas are not bad. I see what they're going for a lot of it, but a lot of it just doesn't really feel very satisfying. I'm sure, Cowboy, you can kind of get that same feeling where you're just like, it's like, I see what you guys are doing here, but it doesn't feel as good or polished as I was hoping it would be. But you get armor you can find throughout the game. You have 3 armor slots, like a head, a shoulder pad, I believe, and like a gauntlet. And there's different types of armor. So like one of them I had was these gloves I got make my melee go further. So I have like a further range with melee, which is actually pretty nice. Or one of these is if I dodge at the right time, I get essentially witch time from Bayonet, where everything slows down for a couple minutes and I can hack guys away. That's fine. You can upgrade that at camps and stuff like that. The world itself is kind of reminds me of the Star Wars Jedi games, I guess, how it's laid out. Or you could even say like Dark Souls, I guess, but not nearly as grand and it's interconnected and level design like that. But you have this map and you can go through it. It's semi-linear, but there are paths you can branch off to and find some decent stuff. You can find like more health upgrades. And so that's always nice. Or maybe a new piece of gear or something like that. Some resources you can get to upgrade your weapons and all that kind of stuff, which is all fine. There's towns throughout the game you go to that you kind of liberate. They're overrun by guards. You take them down. You kill a boss there, and it becomes like a hub. People there, you can get a couple side quests there from like this one weird witch person who's like at every single town. They give you quests, and they also usually give you an extra healing flasks. So that's fine. But it's just like everything is decent enough, but nothing is strong enough where I'm like, yeah, I can recommend this game easily to people. If you got Game Pass, probably worth checking out. No big deal or anything like that. Totally fine. There's some interesting like side quests I guess you can do. The story, I have no idea what's fucking going on. I don't give a shit about any of it or really care about any of the characters, which is a shame. But there's there. I'm like halfway through the game now, I believe. Oh, also the bosses are, for the most part, pretty bad. Most of them are pretty bad, I would say.
There was like one like bad moveset bad or
boring. Just boring. There's like one boss later on that I think I'm halfway through the game, maybe, or a little more. That was like at the halfway point that I was like, oh, this is at least kind of interesting boss right here. A lot of them just feel like normal kind of elite enemies, I would say.
Yeah, this was like up as a consideration for like my next Let's Play series while we work our way towards with Wukong. And right now I feel like there's a nail above it, and each statement you're just slowly trying to get in farther.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, I don't think
some have a better experience in the game. Like I think it's fine, and I'll probably finish it. Like, but it's not amazing. It's not great or anything like that. It's fine, I would say. And if you're okay with that, just totally go for it. But I don't know if you're looking for something like. If you're like, I need another kind of Souls-like game that's like great, like Liza P or something like that, this is not going to be it. Yeah. I think this game needed more time to cook in the oven.
There's potential here. You guys play Ashen?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The final boss was ridiculous, but as a whole, I liked Ashen.
Yeah, I liked Ashen overall.
Yeah,
I don't think it was like amazing, but I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I thought it was okay. It was enjoyable. I never finished it though, so it's like that's the thing. It's like it's not good enough to finish for me. I don't know.
But I will say I do like the platform in the game. I think it's fun because you have like this black powder you throw down that like boosts you, and I think that's kind of fun sometimes. Like comboing one that lifts you up higher, then dash forward and stuff like that. And you're doing this while going through the rifts. Nothing crazy, not like Guacamelee. Platforming. I wish there's something really crazy challenges like that. That'd be really fun. But it's a nice touch that I do like. That makes it feel unique. But everything else, I don't know. It's decent. It's fine. You can have a good time, but it's not going to blow you away or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, I'll probably finish it, but it could easily get pushed aside if something else comes out greater than that.
Well, you want to talk something else greater? Let me tell you about 9 Souls.
Oh my God. You want to talk about 9 Souls right now?
Okay. People are sleeping on this game. So,
okay. Wow.
Like they sell it as like Sekiro meets Hollow Knight. And I usually hate when games are described as like, X meets X, but it's actually accurate here. You have this like Tao punk aesthetic going on where it's like a little bit of Chinese influence and a little bit of futuristic cyberpunk. The gameplay is super parry focused. Like there are 3 bosses that stand out to me that were like, I want to murder you. The final boss took me probably 5 hours across multiple days to beat. Easily
oh my God, really?
One of the hardest bosses I beat. The game has a story mode for people that are like, I can't deal with all this, which I consider dropping down to at the final boss. And then I realized the story mode doesn't have the 3rd phase, and I'm like, I've come this far, I have to do it now. Like it's just the story is solid. There's it has that like obscure Metroidvania side quest type thing you look for. You start getting different abilities. You don't have as much in terms of of pure Metroidvania, like traversal mechanics, how, usually you get a new traversal type thing and you go back, but you do get there's a couple. You get like, you get your dash and your double jump, stuff like that. But the big thing is just the tightness of combat. Like, when I think of like hitting parries and whatnot, it's like Sekiro, Stellar Blade, and now this. Whereas like in Hollow Knight, like I love Hollow Knight. It's one of my favorite Metroidvanias. And I think it's a lot more movement focused, like being able to jump and dodge and then get your bounce and keep going. This is definitely more like, can you hit your parries? Because there was one boss fight where I had to do like a special charged parry. Like you need to hold the button down and get this up. I had to like hit that and then do 2 consecutive parries and then dash and then do a triple parry and then jump into the air and do 2 air parries, dash, wow. 2 more air parries, dash, charge up again, counter the thing, go in, do the thing. Like just wild. Has a good soundtrack, has good art, and people are just like sleeping on it. The problem is it released like right at Shadow of the Erd Tree. So like a lot of people didn't really hear about it, but like
they got Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Phenomenal indie.
It looks sick, dude. I'm looking at this right now.
It is sick. Yeah.
It looks, well, I'll say straight up, Hollow Knight's a good game. I don't like Hollow Knight mostly because of the art style. Actually, 100% because of the art style. I don't like the art style, and I don't like the way the game looks. I like the way this game looks. So that's why I was like, oh, if I could play a game that's like Hollow Knight, but I actually vibe with the whole aesthetic, then yeah, totally.
The music is
look at the parries right now. That looks awesome. What the fuck? Yeah. Totally. Okay. Yeah. Completely miss under the radar, but yeah, I'm gonna play this right after we get off. Right after we get off here. Yeah. How much is it?
It's cheap. It's like 20 or 30.
$30. Wow.
Yeah. I'm looking at your footage, Cowboy, of this game. And it does look really gorgeous. I do like the art style a lot. It looks awesome. Like, what are you? You're like some weird, like little rabbit thing. I don't even know what the fuck this is.
You're kind of like a cat.
Okay.
But it's I don't know. I don't really want to like spoil the opening, but
don't worry about it.
It has like within the first 30 minutes, you're just like, oh shit. Like stuff is happening that is not what okay, I see where this is going. Like it starts off pretty dark and then it just kind of like throws you to the wolves and it gets going, and there's like hidden secrets and stuff. Like I reached the final boss, and when I was stuck, I was like trying to find people that were fighting it, and that's when I discovered there was no third phase of the people fighting it. Like, but I had like missed 2 heals and I'd already passed. Like the game has like a very big like, hey, stuff's gonna go down, you should wrap up anything you haven't done.
Okay.
And I was like,
point of no return.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm good. And then I got to the final boss and realized I had like missed essentially like 2 of my Estus flasks and was like, you're fucking kidding me, dude. Like I have to do this with less heals than I could have, and they're not even fully upgraded. Like I've made this as hard as possible, and it was just an ordeal. But like some of the boss fights, the boss music in particular, like there's 2 bosses that like, in the downtime between attempts on the final boss, I was just like opening up boss OSTs and just like listening to them.
Nice. That sounds awesome. So the combat looks incredible, and like you said, very satisfying and all that kind of stuff. Is there anything you would say that makes this game stand out aside from that?
So the biggest thing is the parries. Like the base combat is you have like a 3-hit combo. You can do it in the air, and you can kind of do air resets. So if you get good at like juggling your attacks, you can get like a 6 or 7 hit combo in the air really faster than you could on the ground. You have like a charge attack that can help break through shields. You get a bow, and then you have like 3 different arrow types to choose from, so you can like rotate between those. And then you have this talisman thing. So as you parry attacks, you build up these charges, and then you like dash past an enemy, like slap a talisman on their forehead, and that explodes and deals damage.
Cool.
And then so you have one of the cool things the game has is a system called internal damage. And the best way to think of it, like you ever play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know how there's like, here's your red health bar that you can get back. It's kind of like that. So you can build this up on enemies, and as long as you're not taking damage, like it'll happen to you as well. Like you'll get hit, you'll lose some health, and you'll lose internal health. And as long as you are avoiding attacks or parrying or whatever, that health will slowly heal over time. There's like these jades you can put on, so you could like get it back by attacking. You could get it back by just, to decrease the time. There's one where it's like if you do your charged counter attack, you'll take that internal damage and redirect it to an enemy. But the big thing is your talisman will detonate all that. So like, if your talisman typically would do like a fifth of the boss's health, if I'm like going through the combos, I'm like timing it to where like I take, like if I take a couple partial blocks, I'll take internal damage and then do one of my big counters, send that to the boss, hit them with a talisman. All of a sudden I'm detonating a talisman for like half the boss's health because I was like taking hits purposefully to get internal damage to then redirect it and shift it onto the boss. So there's some like really, really fun kind of nuance to the combat that you don't really pick up until much later, but it allows for some really intense moments. Because, like the thing with the internal health is like your true health is, you're one hit from dying. And yeah, right. All that health can heal, but like, if you fuck up that parry and you don't redirect it, like, oops, you're dead. You're starting over. So it gets really intense for sure. But, there is that story mode. So,
Yeah, if you're on story mode, do you know if all the bosses kind of lose like phases or anything like that?
I don't know about all of them. I know the final one does. But from what I can tell from story mode, I know it's like you can modify, like I think it's your health, enemy health, incoming and outgoing damage. So it has like a bunch of different modifiers, which is nice. So, if you're someone that wants to, get a feel for that combat, but you're not ready to fight a boss over 5 days, which is definitely understandable. I think it's a nice approach to have that available to people.
Okay. Yeah, man. This game looks awesome. It did come out at a really bad time, unfortunately, but fuck, man. It looks great. 9 Souls, huh?
Yeah, seems like a perfect Steam Deck game, so I'm getting
sure.
100%. Yeah.
Do you recall how long do you think the game is, I guess?
In terms,
I know it can vary depending on if you get stuck at a boss for a long time.
I got 40 Let's Play episodes out of it, so probably 25 to 30 hours.
Okay, so it's a very meaty game.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's very cool, dude. Yeah, it looks awesome. Shit, I love Metroidvania, so this is right up my alley.
Yeah, because I played that, and then I tried the Bow Path of the Teal Lotus on an indie showcase too, which a lot of people are like, if you like 9 Souls, you're gonna love this. But that one felt more. I want to say it almost leaned more Hollow Knight-y because there's a big emphasis on platforming. I mean, it seems like a cool game. Art style also very beautiful on that. But the thing that threw me off is like, anytime you hit something, it like resets your jump. So there's certain puzzles where you're like jump smack, jump smack, jump smack, jump smack, and then I don't know. I would probably need to dedicate some time for that one to really click the like multiple back and forths. 9 Souls, it just, I don't know, that felt more natural to me, but I like parry-based gameplay, so I felt right at home playing it.
Maybe it's more combat focused, I guess.
Yeah.
Than the other one. Let's see. I think this is only on Steam or PC right now, on Mac, so no consoles yet for 9 Souls, but I'm sure it'll be coming. It has very high ratings on Steam. Overwhelmingly positive from everybody, so it's got like 10,000 reviews, so... I assume it's very good.
Yeah, it seems you're doing well. Good.
Cool. All right. 9 Souls looks awesome. Glad to hear it. All right. Let's see.
Dude, there are almost as many people. There 9 Souls has a higher all-time peak than Concord beta
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was coming.
I didn't even get it. PlayStation sent me like here's your beta, get in before everybody, and I just that was like over the 5 days. I was on the final boss in 9 Souls, and I was just like, no, like I'm locked in. There's no, I don't have time for you. Get out of my peripheral. Go away. So.
Yeah, exactly. Cowboy was one of the concurrents on 9 Souls versus Concord. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when you're knee deep in a game like 9 Souls, man, it's like all you want to do is finish that game before you move on.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him. All right, boys, it's time for Sorted Out. On this segment, we talk about something that's bothering us in the game industry. Could be a game, could be a company, could be a mechanic or whatever, anything like that. Could be a human being at a company if you want to get real crazy. I don't know. Gene, looks like you had one already. Why don't you hit us with it?
Gosh, I thought I did and I forgot. But right now, since I'm
It
going to be
was the
talking about,
NES.
huh? Oh, no,
It
no,
was the
no.
NES
I think
World
I think I'll talk again about Hitman again, and also
Okay.
I'm going to
Okay.
talk about it. But I've been playing more Hitman again, and the online DRM situation is only just
Ooh.
gotten worse because I keep fucking getting disconnected as I'm playing Hitman, and it keeps trying to like reconnect, and that's cool, and I reconnect just fine, and I'm able to continue my session. But it keeps dropping, and it ruins the flow of the game. Like I'm
Yeah.
immersed into the world, and I'm like watching this guy, and waiting for the perfect chance to strike, and then boom, the UI just pops up and says, "You've been disconnected. Retry again." Fuck
Mhm.
modern gaming, man. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like one time I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna be offline. So the good thing is that I was worried about what would be available offline, but all the upgrades that I earned are already available offline. So that's cool. Like, so I was able to play with like my suitcase and everything. I was worried that I would just like lose the suitcase and all the cool guns that I earned, right, if I play offline. So I think it really just. But if you're playing offline, the game won't save progress. So that's the issue, right? But the good thing though is that I've now completed the whole trilogy, and so I've unlocked everything I've wanted to unlock. So even if I do go offline, it's totally fine. I pretty much have all the levels and all the equipment that I do want. But still, the journey to get there sucks ass, especially on PC when you're just getting disconnected all the time. I don't know why that happens. Seems to happen to a lot of players even in the past year, especially on Steam Deck. So that sucks because it runs amazingly on Steam Deck.
Mhm.
Smooth 60 FPS. I barely see any drops. So it's a really nice experience with Steam Deck, except for all the disconnection issue. So sort it out to people who add in DRM. Just let us own the game. It's fine. I don't understand it. People are just so crazy.
So it's so weird about the DRM situation to me is I feel like we keep seeing more aggressive DRMs, and like I don't know of any case besides like a perpetually online game like World of Warcraft or something where DRM has prevented people from just pirating and cracking the game.
Yeah.
Like all the DRM is doing in the end is just hurting the consumer because
all you're doing is just making it a worse product in the end for the person who actually
crack
bought
your
fucking game.
Every single time people will crack your game.
Yeah, every single time it's going to be cracked. It's going to be pirated. So fucking just stop,
Yeah, wasn't it like Resident Evil Village, I think, had performance issues that were tied to like the DRM, I think.
That's right. Yeah. I totally forgot that. They had to remove that, and they always end up fucking removing it,
Yes. They keep trying, but it keeps fucking up, dude. Yeah, DRM sucks.
Yeah. I don't know why Capcom keeps doing that too,
I think they should just go back to where like have some line in the code that just like detects if the game was pirated and it fucks with it. Like if you're playing Monster Hunter and it detects it's a pirated copy, every weapon you make is just like a floppy dick.
Yeah.
And then you're just
That'd
like,
be awesome.
Like it's the full game, but you have floppy dicks, and for some reason the files are encrypted, so you can't mod weapons in. You're just stuck wielding floppy dicks.
Floppy dicks that do like 1 damage. Yeah.
Fuck with the people. Fuck with the people.
Regular damage. It's just all dicks, though.
No, because people would be encouraged to play then if it was that. People would think that's cool, dude.
Unfortunately, yes. Actually, you're right.
Double time attack run. Let's go.
Yeah, that do big damage. Yeah, exactly. People would be into that shit.
Yeah, I see your point. Yes.
All right, Cowboy. Anything that you think needs sorting out?
Yeah, actually, industry gaming trends. Like I know we actually talked about this earlier, how it's like hero shooter souls like, but like we're at a weird spot, I feel like, where more original games, even ones that are doing well, like look at Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks got closed down for that. Original IP sold well, had good reviews. And instead we see the industry just moving towards the same stuff that seems to be selling well. Like there was an interview with was it the PlayStation guy? Himmel? No, that's Free Run.
Holst? What's his name?
Holst?
Yeah, I think so. He was saying like, Concord is slated to be like their most prominent IP ever. And it's like, bro, no, stop. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy. Give me focus on the stuff that's good. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like ever since Overwatch 2 kind of like didn't hit the levels that the original did, we've just seen like so many potential hero shooters trying to come out. And ever since Dark Souls found the success it did, we see so many potential Souls-likes come out. And like every now and again, you get something really good, like Lies of P. I think is a fantastic Souls-like. The new Republic of the Fallen. If you can play it and it runs, I think it's a good Souls-like.
Yeah, I like that game.
Oh, Lords of the Fallen, the new one. Yeah.
I
heard it's pretty good.
I liked it.
But there's so much that's like dude, doing the indie showcase. I found there was some indie game I got sent, and it was like something Souls like. I'll try it out. Like they straight up like ripped the animations from Dark Souls 1 into the game, like one for one, same sword swings, same parry, same fucking backstab. In some cases, the same sound effects, and I'm just like, dude, like it's so fucking lazy. Like you can't just take what Dark Souls did and copy it and say Souls-like and then expect it to sell well. Like, people just, I don't know if we're hitting that point of saturation, similar like the movie industry, where we're seeing, ideas to just getting recycled. But I feel like game studios should embrace taking risks more. Change up, totally. take something that was successful, change up your formula a little bit. Like, that's why I look at like Nine Souls. Like they looked at, what made Sekiro good. It was, super tight combat and parries. Okay, let's take that and, create a whole new world by it, put a banging soundtrack, create some good boss fights. There's familiarity there, but there's also something that's fresh and new.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from something, but you should definitely strive to find your own unique part in that space, I guess. Like it sounds like Nine Souls did, took inspiration from those games, but it made something new, which is great.
A lot
For
of trend
me,
chasing,
there's a lot of that.
The hero shooter, like 5 years after it's over. And Sam Winkler, who is actually the writer of Borderlands, ironically tweeted out really good advice, and it's funny coming from the Borderlands writer. But he said, video game writers, you're running out of time to include the word Riz into your story, because by the time your game comes out, that word is probably going to be played out or gone. Yeah, and it's funny to hear that from Borderlands, the Borderlands 3, who relied on the most vernacular, like modern, cringy, millennial vernacular ever. But sounds like it's a lesson that they learned. Like, by the time Borderlands 3 came out, shit sounded really old and cringy. So I think video game developers need to figure it out. Like, if you're chasing a trend now, that's today. What's it going to look like by the time you finish? You just
got to go. You got to go the FromSoft route, where everything is like Latin and Old English. It's timeless.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let's see. I can't think of anything.
I'm playing Dark Souls 1, and it's like the writing feels like Elden Ring still. It doesn't feel like I'm playing a lesser version of a FromSoft game. At least in terms of like the vibes.
Could you imagine like an Elden Ring game, but with like a modern dialogue, like Mikola, Lord of the Riz?
Oh my god!
So out the skibbity and the Sigma throughout the land of shadow.
Radon, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Well,
it could be.
Radon crashes down as a meteor. Well, that just happened, guys.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, some fucking idiot saying that. Yeah, I would hate that. Let's see. I don't got anything very spicy this week, but I've been in a Metroid mood recently, and I've been looking to collect all the games I don't have. And like I was looking at Prime 2 and stuff like that, and it's just like, man, why isn't these not on modern platforms like Switch or anything like that? Why is Metroid Prime 2 not there at least? And 3? It's like, even just they're just straight ports. Put that shit on there, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to dig through these old retro games that are like expensive as fuck to play them physically, like legally at least. Of course you can emulate them, but I want to try to own them at least. But it's just like, man, get more of that shit on your modern hardware already, all right? Come on, Nintendo.
I feel like there's a lot of cases where that, like, if Capcom just dropped a like Monster Hunter collection, it was like 1 through 4 just remastered for modern consoles, it would sell like hotcakes at a diabetes convention. Like,
yeah, just like what they just did with the GOG releases of the old Resident Evil games, you know?
Yeah.
And so hopefully those are coming to Steam too. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
yeah, they did do Onimusha 1.
Onimusha?
but they never did the other 3, I'd say. So that's a damn shame because those games rule.
Square Enix could still do the same with Dragon Quest too. Just give us a bunch of fucking Dragon Quest. I mean, they did give us the shitty mobile ports of Dragon Quest 1 and 3, right?
I think it's coming.
It seems,
I mean, we saw the Final Fantasy re-releases.
I do think that eventually that they are going to be cooking up some kind of Dragon Quest anthology.
It seems like they are with
because
3. We're getting 3, then they're doing 1 and 2 at least.
Yeah. So getting like 4, 5, and 6 would be awesome. 7, 8, 9, and then finally 10 offline. Dragon Quest 10 offline.
Get that I wish, dude.
God,
I wish I could play Dragon Quest 10. Sons of bitches. All right, this is from the audience. Let's see. This is just a cyber lad. What the hell is this BS censorship? I was ready to start building my dynasty in Crusader Kings 3, but when it came time to write my house motto, I couldn't use the word passion because it has ass in it. In a game where I can fuck, marry, and impregnate immediate family members, I can't use the word passion. Sort that shit out.
Wow.
That is fucking insane. Come on, man.
There is some.
Let them have a little fun.
Really funny. Like I know, like the word "night" gets censored in every FromSoft game.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you have people like that can run around with like slurs in their names.
Yeah.
FF14 kept getting blocked on Xbox because I think night or whatever, like it was some word like that couldn't show up, so it was all asterisked out.
Fucking crazy, dude.
I don't know.
Especially in a game where you can do that kind of shit. Yeah, it's very funny. You can't
honestly,
passion.
they should just anything that's online play, just have a profanity filter. Like,
yeah,
if you have it checked, the names are asterisked out. If you don't, then whatever.
They're just
obviously, there's going to be a line. You can't be,
Yeah, you can't be certain things.
Yeah, you can't be certain things. Yeah.
All right, this is from Genesis Point. Hi, boys. Quick sorted out. Recently, I started playing Cyberpunk 2077 to play the DLC. I noticed the game is guilty of a glaring issue that has spread across all games like a From Software Poison Swamp. The issue is following an NPC for a mission, but they, or you, don't have the same walking speed.
Oh, God.
Either make the pace match, be dynamic, like Red Dead Redemption 2, or just make it a cutscene. Sort it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's bad.
Cyberpunk was the worst offender, actually. I have no idea why. Like, I kept walking faster than that Japanese dude. Like, because what's his name again? I forget. But the Japanese.
I forgot his name.
Huh?
Nakamura, yeah, Nakamura.
Because you walk alongside him so often throughout that fucking game.
Yeah.
I end up just hopping around
more than anyone else.
A rabbit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Jumping.
Yeah. You run in circles, spinning in place. Progress.
Yeah. Like, hurt the fuck up. Red Dead Redemption did too. Yeah, I forgot that they did do moderate. They did make it so everyone would walk the same space.
This is one of the things I loved about Dragon's Dogma 2, though. You get an escort quest, and I'm like, you're too slow. Just pick them up on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Start running. We're getting to the destination one way or another.
Yeah, in a game like that, it works really well, being able to do funny shit like that. But
I've also noticed it kind of happens in Hitman a little bit, where you're walking alongside, and sometimes they might be just a little bit slower. And I think it happens a lot, especially in Hitman 1, because they sped up his walk speed for Hitman 3. But then when you play Hitman 1 via Hitman 3, he's got the walk speed of Hitman 3, and everyone else in Hitman 1 is walking with the walk speed of Hitman 1's 1847. So that drives me fucking crazy, which is why I'm glad I own a copy of Hitman 1 itself. So I can, if I want to play Hitman 1 with the regular fucking walking speed, I can play Hitman 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate that shit. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, that's a great one to bring up, Genesis. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, it's from Brandon Taylor. Sorted out Sony. Downloaded the Concord beta on PC, played for 40 minutes, and uninstalled.
This is a Concord like dunking episode. I love it.
Well, last week we dunked on that game hard last week.
We trashed it hard.
Fine gameplay, but the rest is uninteresting slop with no character that feels like it's made by a committee. Let's put Guardians of the Galaxy and Overwatch together and add none of our own ideas. This game was so mid, I went back and downloaded Overwatch 2. Games as a service should make you want to play the game, not uninstall it. I'd rather wipe my ass with $40 than give it to Sony so they stop trying to make these types of games. Damn.
Damn.
That's spicy, Brandon. Holy shit.
Cowboy, did you touch Concord at all? Not at all, right?
I didn't. I saw the beta ended. What was it, yesterday or something?
Yeah, I guess it did.
Yeah,
It's over.
I probably would have gotten to it like at some point this week, but I don't know. I'm not big on hero shooters to begin with, so I saw it and was like, it's probably isn't going to be for me.
It's not.
I love this because everyone is kind of like this. He writes, find gameplay, which is a very important part of a hero shooter or any game most of the time. But then the rest is uninteresting slop, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of true. I played the game and I was like, yeah, the gameplay's all right. It's not too bad, but nothing else here that makes me want to stick with the game or certainly spend $40, I guess, to play it. Yeah, they got a rough time with that game.
Doesn't have the juice. It's gonna be.
Does not have the juice, dude.
It's gonna be really interesting to see it launch and just I don't know, like
it's good. Yeah, launch will be interesting.
Everyone got Suicide Squad right. Everyone called Suicide Squad correctly. I think there's going to be another issue where everyone's going to call this correctly too, and it's just going to be, I doubt it's going to be a Powerwall surprise. You know?
No. Like when this game launches, everyone's going to be looking at Steam charts constantly.
Yeah. What is the launch for it anyway?
August.
It's in August. Yeah. So about a month away.
It's got a month to sort it out, which is not. It's not going to do.
No.
Well, I mean, end of August too. It's going to be dropping on top of Star Wars and on top of Wukong.
Black Myth.
Yeah.
Wukong.
Yeah, I'm playing Wukong.
And War Within. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done, son. Yeah. You're competing against the game Souls people want, an MMO, and then Star Wars.
It's
going to be a Immortals of Avium situation.
Yeah,
we have no idea why it's not selling.
I think I can say that I played Star Wars Outlaws for a little bit. That game fucking rules. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be playing Star Wars Outlaws instead of this shit. That's for sure. You know, I'm going to be playing Disney slop instead of the actual fake Disney slop.
Yeah,
to be clear, the
real slop.
Yeah, real slop, like the real unadulterated slop from the source.
That's right, dude.
From the real cow. Not from the soda.
All right, boys. It's time for Keep It Up. The exact opposite. Stuff we're pleased with in gaming. Gene, let's start with you again.
Let me think about this for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cowboy, do you got something right off the top of your head that you're pleased with in gaming right now?
Lately, I feel like a lot of the games I've played have had banger soundtracks.
Oh, okay.
And, I feel like Elden Ring's always done a good job there. Nine Souls, I enjoyed the soundtrack a lot. Stellar Blade, I enjoyed the soundtrack a lot. Yeah. Rebirth, I enjoyed the soundtrack a lot. Like this has been a really good year for soundtracks, and
that's true.
I think that just needs to keep up. I think a good soundtrack it immediately, it gets you in the zone when you're playing something.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, dude.
I think more games need to lean heavily into the soundtrack. You don't want someone playing your game and just thinking the soundtrack was okay. Soundtrack that yanks you in.
Totally. You got a good track when you're listening to it when you're not playing the game.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Like you said, you're doing with Nine Souls and stuff like that. It's like, all right, we got a great soundtrack here, man. Gene, do you have an idea yet or you need more time?
No, still thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. Like, I'm just like, what's been like this week particularly? What's been awesome? Oh, I guess Evo. I watched some of Evo this weekend. It was really fun. It was awesome. I watched like all Third Strike top 6. That was a lot of fun. Some really great showmanship going on there from the contestants. And it was just really cool. Like, I'm sure you saw this, Gene, like Hihachi coming back in Tekken. After Harada saying he's dead so many times, dude. He's just fucking
This
back.
is what I mean when I say developers lie all the time. You can just say that they're clearly just lying. He's fucking lying to you. You can say that they're lying to you. I know lying sounds like a dirty word, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
people only think lying is a dirty word until they have kids.
Yeah,
you need to lie to your children.
Yeah,
you just have to.
Yeah, you got to.
When can I go on an airplane tomorrow, buddy? He's not going to remember by the next day. The frontal lobe isn't fully developed, but it gets him to stop.
But Evo was a lot of cool So many contestants, packed arena, really fun to watch. So yeah, shout out to Evo.
Oh. I guess keep it up to Bethesda for unionizing.
Right.
Wall to wall unionization, not just like the quality, like not just like the
QA department,
the QA department, but just like the actual developers and everything. So good for Bethesda, and that's Microsoft, I guess, keeping their word that they want to honor that. So good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it'll help them right the ship instead of fucking things up. But we'll see.
Yeah, curious to see how that'll play out in the years to come.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I saw a lot of people say, well, can't wait for the layoffs, and it's like, that we should celebrate people unionizing, but that unionizing does not prevent layoffs. So that's also, and unionization is a cost for business. So we'll see how that plays out. But Microsoft is the most expensive company in the world, so shut the fuck up, right? I don't know.
That's a fair point. Let's see. Nathan Johnson wrote in, "Keep it up, FightinCowboy. Just want to say thank you to FightinCowboy because I never thought I'd be a From Software gamer, but your walkthroughs have made all of their games approachable for me. I've platinumed Elden Ring, Sekiro, and I'm on Demon Souls Remake now thanks to you. Appreciate all your hard work."
Glad it's helping. That's what they're there for, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people wrote in about that kind of stuff. So it's great. A lot of people are very thankful for your work. All right. This is from Castle Super Yeast at gmail.com. Not Super Beast, Yeast. Yeah. Greetings, gents. Welcome, FightinCowboy. It's great to see a new face in the LSM realm. You were on, I think, a spoiler cast for Elden Ring a couple years ago with some of our other guys. I think Dustin.
Yeah, it was like Dustin and Maddie, I think.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. It's back again. Let's see. I have a Keep It Up for Level 4 Games, an indie studio that put out Castlevania Revamped, a fan game that turns the OG NES title into a Metroidvania. It's personally my go-to so far, and any Castlevania fan should absolutely play it. Don't miss out on this game, Gene and Brad, and FightinCowboy if he's a fan. Peace out. Yeah, I actually did hear about this game, and I saw something that looks very cool. I do want to play it, so hopefully I will remember to actually get to it. But it looks awesome. All right, Gene, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Whoops, wrong thing. But Hitman, World Assassination, you've been playing more.
Yeah.
Feeling the need to assassinate. Tell us about it.
Again, my new Hitman phase was kickstarted by recent local, national, and international events. So I played through the whole trilogy on Steam. I played through. So I actually I did own Hitman 1 and 2, but I never owned Hitman 3 on Steam. I did have it for Epic Games, and that was actually my review copy, but I never bought it from when it came out on Steam. And then so when it came out on Steam, it got. Well, now it's on Steam, and it's revamped as Hitman World of Assassination. So Hitman World of Assassination is basically a launcher for the Hitman trilogy. That is the World of Assassination trilogy, and I beat it all. I went through stage 1 through 3, all the way up until the end. Man, I've actually never played the whole trilogy all the way through, as if it is like one series of several movies. That was a hell of a time. I really enjoyed the story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story. Won't spoil it too much, but it is a continuation of the Hitman stories, where it kind of tells about his past, how he got involved with the assassination firm, and then it is implied that everything that happened in the previous games was canon, and then the Hitman, the Agent 47 that you are playing, is kind of like the later stage, and it really explores his relationship with not just his job, but also with Diana Burnwood, your handler. Basically the British lady that's always in Agent 47's ear. I've always loved that character. They always kind of fuck with her a little bit. Like they pretended to kill her in Hitman Absolution, the one that everyone hates. That was the one. That was Hitman Absolution was the one where they Hitman Absolution came out during the worst time of AAA gaming, where everybody was besides now, where everybody's like really hopping on trends or like making everything simpler or whatever. I don't know. It came out at a time when like the game industry was like, oh, we need to expand the audience, so we need to make everything fucking dumber and easier, you know, because the new audience are fucking infants, they're children, you know, they're so stupid they can't figure out these games. So this is who you need to assassinate, you fucking goober, you know. That's what Hitman Absolution was, you know. And then they killed Diana for some reason in that one, and then they brought her back. It was just fake out. You know, I sorted out to game writers who use like the death of an important character to tease your game, and then when you play the game, like that character isn't even fucking dead. You know, of course, there's Halo 5 and Master Chief, where it looked like you're gonna hunt down the Master Chief and you're gonna shoot him in the fucking head. This is the game where you're gonna shoot Master Chief in the fucking head, and then like that never happens, and then you just kind of slap each other for like in the middle of a cutscene, and then like nothing happens. It was completely inconsequential. You know, it's just such bullshit, like cynical bullshit. So, anyways,
It's all a dream.
Yeah, it was all a dream or whatever. You know. So Hitman World Assassination actually does like a good job like exploring like Diana's past and like what motivates her. And also like it peels back the curtain on the actual like Illuminati that's controlling the world, you know.
Right.
So that's the cool thing about the game, is that you're kind of like you're taking all these contracts and then you wonder like, who are these contracts from? You know, and that's kind of that. It's a cool dynamic. It's a cool like spy dynamic where it feels like I'm playing a game that's like, you know, Born Supremacy, the video game. You know, which is why, of course, it's very exciting that IO Interactive has been working on a James Bond game for like what feels like forever now. So I wonder how that's gonna look, because one thing about the Hitman games is that they really do have terrible melee combat. Like they did, you know, it's just like one hit kills, whatever. They haven't really figured that out. There's like Agent 47 will do like a little cool animation where like he'll punch somebody and then you press Y to counter them, and then that'll knock them out. So I wonder if James Bond is an actual like physical fighter. Like he will go, like he knows all the martial arts. He's basically British Batman, right? So I wonder how they're going to intertwine that aspect, the actual physicality of being James Bond. Because Agent 47, like he's not a very physical guy. The whole vibe of Agent 47 is he's gonna walk into the room and you don't even know he's fucking there, and then he's gonna leave and you never knew he was there, you know?
Right.
Not very much of an action game, whereas James Bond is definitely a little bit more action oriented. Or maybe they're I'm thinking of like Pierce Brosnan and what's his face, the modern ones, but maybe they're gonna throw it back to the old school ones, and it's gonna be Sean Connery and you're just gonna be in the tux and just trying to charm ladies or whatever like that. Probably gonna be a lot more like interaction, like dialogue interaction. You know, but it does make me wonder what those games will look like, because Hitman is very much like a sandbox puzzle, you know.
I could see Gene like the sandbox kind of nature of the missions, like even GoldenEye back in the day. You know, you had certain missions that you do like that, but I think there's definitely gonna be set pieces and stuff like that, action set pieces or some shit.
Yeah, the when it becomes clearest is the greatest thing about the Hitman series is that they do like party atmospheres the best out of the industry.
Yeah,
you know?
they do.
I think really only Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto it can only compete in terms of like, you know, because I've been a nightclub guy, you know. I've been in many nightclubs, and I always appreciate a really good video game nightclub, you know. And that's what Hitman provides, like in spades, you know, from the Paris level, from the fashion show, like that feels like a really true like big event, to the warehouse rave in Berlin, Germany, you know, like all that feels like sweaty and moody and dark, you know. Cyberpunk tried to do that, but I really think Cyberpunk does so many moods correctly. I think the nightclub scenes were probably the weakest in there. But like Cyberpunk did do bars really well, though. That's the thing, right? But it couldn't really do crowds. Whereas Hitman is like, this is the game for fucking crowds. Like, you know, just like so many people in there just packed in. So that'll be really interesting to see James Bond in like a really public setting. Like even in Hitman 1, there was a whole protest in I forget which country, but like it's just a war torn country, and then there's a protest happening outside of a government building, and that looks like really smoky and sweaty and hot. Like I feel like I'm actually there. So I don't know. That's what I really appreciate about the Hitman games, just the environments. Like it just really feels like real places.
Morocco.
So many good maps. Even the bad maps are good.
Yeah. So you said you played through was it 3 for the first time with this?
I played through 3 when it came out on Epic Games.
Okay.
And then I just never touched it again. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so you replayed all of it. What are some standouts for you, Gene? Some standout missions you liked?
I did remind myself that Hitman 3 had some of the best missions. The mansion mystery.
Yeah, Dartmoor Manor.
Dartmoor Mansion. The Berlin warehouse, and also the Hong Kong mission. Yeah, I
had the winery one. I like that one a lot too.
Yes, the winery one, that was cool. I threw the woman into the winery barrel and watched her get all chopped up and everything like that. That was crazy. And again, that was a mission. Well, I won't spoil it, but that was a very story heavy mission. So it's really cool to see. Hitman 3 was also the one with that threw the most curveballs, because it is the denouement to the trilogy, right? So there's a lot more happening there. There's one mission where it just completely like upends like the mission structure. I won't spoil which one, but when you go into it, you're like, oh, I got to deal with this in this situation. That's interesting, and it's kind of the best level in the entire trilogy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Berlin, Germany one where you have to go in, and there are other hitmen in the club, and you gotta identify them, and you gotta fucking kill them. And there's no like strategy or anything like that. You just gotta figure it out. So I love the fact that they actually included like a Hitman versus Hitman scenario. Because that's what the old games really did well too. There was like Agent 46 or Agent 48, and he was like trying to snipe you. So then you try to counter snipe him.
Mm-hmm.
You try to like outposition him, and you're just in a completely different building. He doesn't even know where you're at. That's what this level kind of felt like too. So I don't know. Yeah, I really do feel like Hitman 3 was a culmination of so many different concepts. So
yeah, we were kind of talking about Bond and how they kind of tackle that.
Mm-hmm.
The end of 3, Gene, the train level, kind of reminds me. Maybe that's the direction. To me, that was the weakest level in the game.
Absolutely.
But it is like more actiony, going up there, shooting guys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can find a better balance than that level. So hopefully it's not just like that.
Although I was able to sink through the whole thing without getting seen. So that was fun,
Nice.
So you can't do that. And again, like it reminds me of my favorite. I showed you the intro to Hitman Contracts. That was pretty edgy, right?
Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah, that was edgy.
Yeah, so look up the intro to Hitman Contracts again. Follow that suggestion. But Hitman Contracts was also at that level, which was just like the professional, where you're surrounded by the SWAT team and you leave the building as a SWAT team member, and no one knows. No one knows.
Yeah,
that's how it kind of felt like too. So I don't know. Yeah, that last level is very, very linear, but you can make it through without getting seen, and that's what I did. That was fun.
I'm looking at the list of kind of missions and stuff. I haven't really played much of 2, I realized. I need to go back and finish a lot of these. 3, I beat all the way through when it came out. 1, I've played most of these, I think. Mm-hmm. But 2, I'm missing quite a few. But it's like, man, these games are so fun to go back to.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot. But my favorite, my favorite, 2 of the best ones on Hitman 2 are Another Life, which is the one that's in just in an American suburb.
Yeah.
That one, and then there's the Ark Society, which is basically Epstein Island. I love that one.
Yeah, it's like a Havana Island, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's awesome.
I loved it because you actually get to like disguise yourself as one of the Illuminati, and you get to sit in the meeting. Like I love that shit.
That is cool. Yeah. Cowboy, have you played any of these or any interest?
I played 3 a little bit. My thing is the way I approach games. I have like a very like I want to complete everything, and so games like Hitman, like it's too much of a sandbox for me. It's the same problem I had with like like Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, there's just too much. I need. I can't.
there it
like,
is. Yeah.
I remember playing like the Murder Mansion one.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I had like a specific. I don't even remember what it was, but there was a specific kill I wanted to go for, and I like couldn't quite get the pieces to align properly. And then finally, I just get frustrated, and I'm like, murder time, and I just like start shooting people, and then the mission fails. And there was another mission. I'm trying to remember where it was at that I got stuck on, but like I remember we were in some kind of, God, what was it? It was like maybe it was a warehouse, and I was wearing like a cleaner outfit.
Mhm.
And like sneaking around, and then like I don't know, somebody spotted me, and I don't know. I don't have the patience for stealth games these days. It's like every time I try and get into Hitman, I get frustrated by something, and it just falls apart for me.
Mm-hmm.
Younger,
you have to quick save a lot. You have to do a lot of quick saves.
Yeah, you can quick save, if you want.
Yeah, because if you don't quick save, then you definitely start the whole level over again, and it becomes becomes closer to a Souls-like in terms of the run back to that kill. So you definitely want to be saving like as you're like hitting the milestones of setting up that plan, or you just fuck around and you just shoot everybody, like so I've done mass shooting like fantasies in Hitman, where I would just go in and just tear the place up like with an assault rifle or a shotgun and just go absolutely batshit insane. This is something that you don't really admit out in public, like I don't talk about like how he jerked off this morning or something like that. It's a similar kind of thing where it's like I don't really talk about the times when I just just get an AK and just go crazy at the Paris Fashion Show.
Yeah, I've played. I think it was Hitman Contracts, whatever the one that came out in 2016 was, and then I streamed 3 for like 2.5 hours. But it's just I don't know. It's one of those. It's just not for me. I tried.
Yeah. You're right. They're even like less stealth games, and they're more like puzzle games, right? Where you can figure it out, and you can turn it into a stealth game, and you can just like try to like not get seen. Those are always fun. Where you try to do no disguise runs, and I actually try to do that a lot. Where I'm just like wearing like his suit, and I just try to like whiz by people and just like get the kill and just get out. That's always fun too. But
yeah, Gene, this is kind of like a live service game. They add like new contracts and stuff like that. One of the thing right now is Conor McGregor, I think, right? Yeah. Have you done that at all?
I tried to, and I got fucking disconnected.
Oh,
and you can't save during those because the Conor McGregor ones or those live sessions, you got to do the kill in the session, otherwise you do it all over again. So I kept just getting disconnected. I was like, well, fuck it. I don't want to fucking kill Conor McGregor anyways. What the fuck am I doing? So
that's brutal.
It was cool because it's actually like the Conor McGregor fight is on Epstein Island, and then they set up a whole ring for him like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love the fact about this game, Gene, is doing it and getting certain like conditions will get you different rewards.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit. It just adds to the replay value. Like you can, when you unlock like the silenced pistol, like on your second run through or some shit, you're like, wow, this is going to make this so much easier.
Exactly.
I think a lot of that's really fun.
The cool thing is that like if you do certain activities, then you'll unlock different starting points. Even you can start at a different point of the level. So like,
that's
hey,
so
you want to be already a part of the kitchen staff, and just start the story there. You don't have to like do all that, So there's. And then getting level 10 in the Miami level in Hitman 2, I made sure I did that because that's the thing that unlocks a suitcase. And in the suitcase, you can fit all kinds of sniper rifles and bombs and shotguns all in there. And plus, also, it's just cool to walk around as Agent 47 in the suitcase,
Yeah, of course, dude. Classic.
Yeah, and then you can also use the suitcase to like hit dudes. So like just swing the suitcase. You can throw the suitcase to use that as a distraction method too. So the suitcase itself has so many different things. I wonder if you can put a remote device, a bomb in the suitcase and just blow that up, because you used to be able to do that in the old Hitman games, but I haven't tried it in this one. But yeah, you should be able to.
Do you think the release cadence of the game? Or like, how when the game, they would be like by missions that would come out later. Do you think that was a success for them?
No, I think they should have just came out with the full game. I think clearly the episodic content kind of made the game harder to follow. I don't know. Maybe it might do okay now. Considering that streaming is so much more robust, so it might keep people in the keep the game in the conversation,
Mhm.
but I don't know.
I think
just
it falls off.
Yeah, I think
like,
it'll fall off though. Yeah, because
we move on to stuff,
yeah,
especially the content
people move
creation
on.
stuff.
It'll just be like sequential. So like
Yeah.
it's like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like it's really sad to see, but like clearly less people play Rebirth than any
Mhm.
remake because there
remember-
is going to be a natural fall off when you continue
Yeah.
a story like that.
I
So
was looking forward to the Expanse game. They did like a Telltale Expanse game,
Yeah.
and I played the first part, super
Mhm.
enjoyed it,
Mhm.
and I got through it in like an hour and a half, and they were like, "Come back in
Mhm.
a week and a half for part 2,"
Mhm.
and a week and a half later, there was some new game on deck I had to play.
Mhm.
And like I'm pretty sure it's all out now, but like I never went back because it's like
Yeah.
either if it's not out, I don't know.
Mhm.
The same
Yeah,
Game of
so,
Thrones.
like-
I don't have time to come back every week for 1 hour.
Exactly. So I think it showcased how video games aren't like TV shows. Like Game of Thrones or like Breaking Bad, the finale would break the record. Like everybody would watch that shit, right? But in video games, like people fall off, and when people want to play a video game, I'm ready to play a video game right now. I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm dedicating the weekend or the week to play this game. I don't want to play a game for an hour and then leave it and then and then just move on and come back to it. Like
Mhm.
especially a game as hard as Hitman to understand. Like the controls aren't easy to get. Even me, like a veteran Hitman player, when I picked that back up, I still had to like refamiliarize myself with the controls and the systems. Imagine having to do that every few months. That's annoying.
Yeah. Totally. I get it.
It's I recently had a conversation about someone. It's like playing Sekiro and then hitting the demon of hatred at the end, and you're like, what the fuck is a Bloodborne boss doing in Sekiro? I've been a ninja this whole game. So like yeah, people like if I'm ready to be a hitman, I'm a hitman. I don't want to be a hitman for an hour and then just move on with my life and just be a ninja here or be a cowboy there.
I think that's fair.
So yeah, I do think that it definitely hurt. So that's why a lot of people are playing a World of Assassination because it's the full package.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all out, so it's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Bond will be a full game.
Yeah,
release.
I really hope they don't do that shit. I really hope that they just come out with like fucking like 10 levels of fucking sick Bond scenarios.
Yeah, I wonder if they like sprinkled Hitman more throughout for financial reasons too. Maybe they're like, if these don't sell well.
That's true. This was during Square Enix, actually. This was Square Enix, and Square Enix is the factory of some of the stupidest fucking ideas in the industry. So, so it probably was their fucking idea, in the first place.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Kai wrote in, "Hey guys, I feel like this new Hitman trilogy was largely overlooked when each game was individually released.
Yeah.
However, as a collection of games, World of Assassination might be one of the best there is. Mm-hmm. Gene, with Hitman fresh in your mind, are you excited for IO's upcoming 007 project? I think the third installment really showed their ability to match intricate level design with the explosiveness of a James Bond, or that explosiveness that a James Bond game would need."
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think Hitman 3 again showcases like IO like really brushing up their ability to tell a story, and I've talked about this in the Souls games where FromSoft has also been trying to like level up their ability to tell a story like during a fight,
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Beta Chaos or like the Dragon God in Demon Souls were like failed attempts at trying to do that. And then like the good attempt is Radon, the Radon Festival, right? Mm-hmm. Or even the Yorm Giant in Dark Souls 3, or Rykard. So I definitely see them even from Hitman 1, 2, and 3, like really elevating their ability to tell like a narrative through gameplay mechanics, through the settings, and through the characters that you have to kill or interact with, and even like finding stuff. What's cool is that like you need to find certain documents in another that American suburb setting to be able to unlock the mystery. It's like, oh, Epstein Island exists, So and then you find the proper documents to tell you where Epstein Island is, and that's where it goes from there. So there really is like a thorough line story that you have to follow through the objectives. So I'm really interested. I think the James Bond game is gonna be crazy. I'm also a fairly decent James Bond fan. I really like James Bond when I was a kid, so this will be really exciting to play.
Yeah, I agree. It's from Meatball. What's up, gamers? Gene, what are some of your favorite levels and go-to assassin tools in Hitman? I don't think there's currently a better developer in the industry than IO Interactive at creating deep sandboxes to play in. I can't wait to see what they're cooking up for James Bond. So favorite, we talked about some of the levels. Favorite go-to tools in Hitman, your assassin tools.
I just like throwing shit.
Okay,
because throwing shit is so accurate. You just press the L trigger, and then once it does the beat, then like no matter where they are, it'll just lock on and go. So just toss a knife or a hammer at someone's head. That's always classic. But I always use silenced pistols. I just here's the thing: what I always used to do at Hitman. I'm a huge like Godfather movie fan, as most men are, right? My favorite scene is from The Godfather 2 is when Corleone assassinates Don Fanucci, and he's like climbing through the rooftops and like watching his prey. I always love like role playing like that scene as like Agent 47, like watching my prey and like walking alongside him, and then trying to find some way to isolate them and just shoot them in the head. Like that, I just want to live my Corleone fantasy,
take them out quick.
Yeah, just take them out quick and when nice silent. So that's why I always try to do. I do often try to do like no disguise runs, and that's always just so much fun. But I'll kill my way through the whole way through. So
absolutely.
But sometimes I'll do no bodies and everything, and then just all distractions. That's always fun too. But but that's a great thing. Like you can be as peaceful and as violent as you want. You can be a total mass shooter, or you can just take out your one target. That's it. So
yeah, I always like using like the poison, and I think there's like a lethal injection kind of thing in the game too. I always thought was funny. I always love doing that shit. Shooting is usually last resort for me, but sometimes because like how I play these games is always the first run. I do it totally organically, going sneaky. But if shit hits the fan, it's like, all right, we're just gonna try to get our way out of this kind of thing. All right. Let's end the show with some questions from the audience. We always do. If you want to send a question, please head over to patreon.com/laststandmedia if you'd like to support us over there. $5 is kind of our best value tier. You get all these shows early, access days early. So please consider supporting us. All right. This is from Derek Beek. Hi. Hypothetical question for you guys. You can no longer play any more video games that you actually want to play unless you play through every single game in one franchise with 4 games, or at least 4 games, that you either hate or think you'll hate. What franchises would be the hardest for you to get through? For me, it would likely be the Trails games. The thought of playing over 300 hours of an anime tropes and DVD menu combat, thank you, Chris, would probably make me quit gaming entirely. All right, so to play games we want to play again, we got to play through a series with at least 4 games in it that we're not too keen on. What are we picking?
Wow. This is hard because I got to think of like, what's a franchise that I hate that I somehow actively follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that I know well enough that I hate, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard.
Yeah. I don't know, like...
You know what? Fuck it. I'll take the Hitman franchise.
Oh shit! Yeah,
there you go. I know I don't like them. I'll force myself through it to get back.
That'll be tough. Yeah.
There's a lot.
No, you got 100% Tears of the Kingdom. That'll be
that would be one.
That is brutal. That is brutal. As somebody who enjoyed that shit, that shit is still brutal. So
I could not do.
Yeah, it takes fucking forever to 100% that one. So yeah, so like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom by themselves, that would be tough. That would be such a pain in the ass.
Playing through all the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a fuck ton. I think mine would be Borderlands. I've played some of it too, but I did not enjoy those games.
So
Mostly for the writing.
Blast through Borderlands though.
And that's the thing. You could blast through them. But she's like, man, everyone's annoying as fuck in those games, and it drives me crazy. But I'm sure there's worse examples, but that's just the one that comes popping up in my head. And I think there's only 4 mainline ones, so can at least just do those. Gene, anything for you, dude?
I don't know about a series, but I'll take a page from Cowboy. It'll be Minecraft for me. I can't play Minecraft.
There's probably multiple Minecraft spin-off games.
Yeah. The thing is, I could probably play the Minecraft spin-offs, like Minecraft Legends is fun, but I just can't like play like creator only like Minecraft. So I don't know, like maybe Little Big Planet, but I actually like the Little Big Planet games too. So it would have to be something that is like super creative and like just has so much like friction, you know, like a survival game, probably like a survival series. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think.
What's a survival series?
I don't know. I can't think of one with
they're all
4 entries.
standalones for the most part. The Forest.
Yeah, because they all fucking suck because no one fucking plays them.
I love survival games.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So, as I'm looking at my list of upcoming survival games, no, don't you?
But yeah, probably like a survival series if there was one. But you know, or like if I had to play like Valheim and you know, all those games in a row, then that'd be tough for me.
Yeah, that'd be brutal. All right, this is from Caleb Peacock. Boys, what's in your video game gun Hall of Fame? Just finished Prey and have to enshrine the glue gun in there. Portal gun is probably a first ballot. What else comes to mind? Thanks. All right, what's the holy?
Is this like personal video game Hall of Fame achievements or like video games that we feel is Hall of Shame?
It's for just guns from games. So like our favorite guns in gaming. Like the super shotgun from Doom.
Of course. Yeah.
Definitely feels like one.
Yeah.
Favorite guns.
I think top of mind right now comes to mind the Rhino from Ratchet and Clank.
Sure. Yeah. That's a great pick.
But the Rhino is the ultimate gun that you get, and it's basically like a kill screen gun. But it's fun because, you know, it shoots out like 50 missiles and the missile just lock onto like every single enemy and character. If it's just one character, then every missile is going to lock onto that one boss. So it's always fun. It's always fun to like use like Ratchet's movements to like cartwheel around and just like not even lock on or like worry about aiming anything. You're just firing the trigger button, you know? So it's always a fun reward. That's always the gun that I always come to mind. But any gun like from the old Insomniac games, Resistance, right, Ratchet and Clank games. Like I feel like Insomniac. It's too bad that they're only making Marvel games because they used to be really good. They used to be really good at making guns, you know.
Yeah, that's true. They were.
And then the other one is the bolt action rifle from Resident Evil 4 original.
Oh, the sniper rifle. Yeah.
Yeah, the bolt action sniper rifle.
Yeah, super good. Great gun. What about you, Cowboy? Anything you can think of?
I don't do a ton of gun games, but one that stands out would probably be the AMR from Far Cry 3.
Okay.
I remember there was like a hidden AMR you could get that was like armor pen explosive, and it was somehow silenced, and you would just murder anything you wanted with the gun from like max range, essentially. Like you hit the truck blows up. You hit the person blows up. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So you're a cowboy that only uses swords?
See, this is the thing. People think cowboy and they think like, pew, pew, but my name comes from Cowboy Bebop, which is
which is also very gun heavy. So what are we talking about here?
Which I actually own that gun.
Oh, okay.
So that is the handgun I keep. I
interesting.
Chose that handgun because it's the 941 Jericho. Very nice handgun, great for the range. Besides that, I was trying to think of like there were some really fun guns in Armored Core, but I don't know if there's like a single one that stands out. It's hard to pick one, you know, because you suit up with like 4 different weapons usually.
Yeah, like 4 guns on.
Always a fan of the Halo assault rifle too.
That's sure, yeah. Great gun, man.
Feels good to just pepper coming in with that.
I always think of the golden gun from GoldenEye.
That's a good one.
Just that one shot, insta kill every time, man. Super good.
So if it was like a question about melee weapons, I got like 1,000 I could think of.
Well, you can put the gun blade in there. Got a gun and a sword on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, guns. I don't know. Can't really think of too many right now for some reason. Off the top of my head.
Do flamethrowers count as guns?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'd say that counts. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's very few games where flamethrowers aren't just phenomenal. The
Yeah.
Alien games, they're good. Helldivers,
Yes.
they're good.
Yes, that's
I'll
true.
always go for a good flamethrower.
Helldivers has good guns. Helldivers has really, really good guns.
Yeah.
And the great thing is that it doesn't have like a million guns. It just has like, these are the guns you get, you know?
It's getting there. I haven't played recently, but it was hitting the
Oh, really? Okay.
weapon saturation point.
Yeah. Borderlands also has really good feeling guns. So I think there's a whole reason why the series was able to, you know, catch on, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I do think that Resident Evil has my favorite guns in the entire industry, you know? Just, like,
They're good guns, definitely.
My favorite shotguns, my favorite Magnum revolvers, you know, 357, Barry's handgun, you know, the 9mm samurai, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like Resident Evil guns are like, you know, like even the war pistol, you know, you get, you know. There's also the Metal Gear guns too. Metal Gear 4 had amazing guns actually.
Oh yeah. Dude, what's he use? The SOCOM? Snake uses that?
Yeah. But the Drebin shot was my favorite part of Metal Gear 4. I love it.
Oh yeah, Drebin.
All the guns and the gun equipment and the customization you can do there. So good.
Yeah, I'd definitely have to put Ocelot's revolvers on there. Top tier guns, man. All right.
Also the Dead Space. The
plasma cutter?
The plasma cutter.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's an original gun. You know,
they'll tell you, be like, actually, it's not a gun. It's a tool used.
I'm gonna pick the new one from the upcoming Doom game, the Skull Gun, just because.
Oh my god! Yeah, the grinds the skulls.
Already up there. That's how good that shit is. It's already up there, like iconic already. Yeah, that's amazing.
Doom, yeah, dude. Yeah, Doom's
the
got
spread on that is gonna be so fun. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
Turok games used to have sick guns too.
I remember Turok had like a bow that was like a mini nuke essentially.
Like it was like the explosive bow.
Yeah,
that shit was sick. All right, this is from Cythria can learn Hydro Cannon, but Blastoise can't. So I didn't know who the fuck that was. I looked it up. It's a porn star.
Oh wait, who?
Cythera, Cytherea.
Okay.
So all you degenerates can look that up later.
Wow. I guess I don't know my porn stars. That's crazy.
Maybe she's an up-and-comer, Gene. Hey, fellas. Recently, I was playing TMNT Splintered Fate on my phone with the Backbone.
Yeah, how is that?
So I'm getting pretty deep into the game when the audio cuts out completely. Okay. I try to solve the problem by uninstalling, then reinstalling the game, turn my phone on and off, the usual suspects, and the audio still won't work. Suffice to say, I am done till a proper console, Switch doesn't count, release happens. Has a game ever shit itself to the point where you dropped it completely or resorted to seeing the ending on YouTube? P.S. That's what I get for playing on iPhone. So, apparently it wasn't great for him, Gene, so I don't know. I'm waiting to hear what Maddie says.
Yeah. I haven't looked up anything. I saw that and I was like, I don't know if I'm in a Ninja Turtles mood right now. You know.
Yeah. So
I love Ninja Turtles. Obviously, I have like all the books back here, but you know, sometimes you just gotta get in the mood for it. So.
Yeah. Any game with tech issues or whatever that just where you're like, I've had enough. I'm out of here.
I mean, I've had a few for sure. The thing is, like, usually when shit like that happens, I'm just like, this is garbage. I'm done with it, and I stop thinking about it. So it's hard to really like. Remember, you know.
Yeah. I think the only time I noped out of a game because of just it's not even a tech issue. It was literally just like I just couldn't stand the visuals. Was Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PS4 and PS4 Pro. I just thought that the resolution was so low, and it's the whole reason why I told this before, but it's the whole reason why I actually finally bought the Xbox One and like returned to the Xbox ecosystem, because Xbox One X had the 4K version of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I was like, I want that one. So
yeah, got it.
So I just never ever finished Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4. Maybe I should try it. I don't know. It's been so long since I played that, but
sure.
I don't know. But yeah, in terms of tech issues, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever played it.
In terms of ugliness, Gene, that was me with Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii. I bought it, and it was like the ugliest game I'd ever played, and I was like, I cannot do this, dude.
Okay, yeah, that was also me with the 3DS version. I was like, you know what? I never finished it on Wii. Let me play it on 3DS, and I was like, actually, I can't do this. So.
In terms of like the game not being up to stuff, it was Starfield for me. That game just gave me so many tech problems that took me out of the game completely. I was just like, this game's not done. I'm gonna come back in a year or two or whatever. So I'll probably revisit it when the expansion comes out.
You know, it's fucking stupid that they just like gave us 60 FPS like 6 months after the game released.
Oh yeah, they said it. Yeah,
like this game really could have been just like delayed. You know, like the issue is always Microsoft in that they just don't have any games. You know, so they needed to do that. Again, PlayStation also had the issue. Spider-Man 2 was also rushed out the door too, right? Yeah. Spider-Man 2 didn't have like day and night cycle or like New Game Plus or any of this shit. So, you know, both PlayStation and Xbox rushed out Starfield and Spider-Man 2 just to meet that, just because 2023 had fucking nothing else, you know? That's the modern gaming landscape. It's just bullshit, you know? Just nothing but bullshit. Great indie games, you know?
Yeah. All right, this is from Ryan Gerson. Hey, howdy and hello. This question is for Cowboy. It's a little weird, but we'll see how it goes. Disclaimer. He is one of my favorite YouTubers. I love him so much. I like to comb his hair, put him in beautiful sundress, and take him on vacation to Jamaica. With that out of the way, I gotta ask, Cowboy, Jesus. Where do you see From Software going with the Souls formula? The combat, the level design, etc.? I'll likely never get a chance to ask again, so I figured I'd take my shot. Well, what do you think about what Ryan said, Cowboy?
Well, I just shaved it into a mohawk, so there's probably not a whole lot of combing and sundress activity happening.
There you go. Where do you see From Software design going?
I think honestly that they might move away a little bit from the pure Souls design. You know, we've seen a pretty steady evolution. You know, they went to Bloodborne, they tried quite a few ideas that mixed up the kind of the standard Souls formula. Then we saw them go for more action oriented with Sekiro, and to me at least, Elden Ring feels like the culmination of all the systems we saw, especially Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, kind of into like the final product. And I think they might move away from that. I think, you know, FromSoft tends to do their best work when they're not just doing a sequel, when they're making a brand new IP. And, you know, even if they do something that's not a pure Souls-like, you know, I think we'll still see a lot of the things that FromSoft is known for in terms of boss design, in terms of pacing. You know, you look at Armored Core 6, I wouldn't consider it a Souls-like at all, but there are a lot of very familiar FromSoft beats in that game, between the sound design, the mission structure, the difficulty, the way it scales up. And I think we're going to see, I would hope we even see a new IP from them, something where they're just coming up with a brand new idea that feels familiar but also fresh.
Yeah, wow, you're right that they do tend to do better when it's new IP, you know, because I think most of us can agree that Bloodborne and Sekiro are just better games than Dark Souls 2 and 3. I don't know.
I mean, I just think that the idea, you know, like going into, there was a different kind of excitement going into Bloodborne and going into Sekiro compared to going into
Dark Souls 3. Even
Dark Souls 3.
Then even Dark Souls 3 released. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
100%.
There's a real like exciting energy to it. And it's like, oh, what do you have in store for us this time? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. From like, if they do, I kind of like would like to see them explore traversal more so in their games. Most of the time, like just now, you're being able to jump kind of freely on command easily, which is nice. But I kind of like to see how they'd handle like movement in the future, like maybe like double jumping and stuff like that. I guess like Torrent can double jump, but like more faster, like
wall
maybe
running, double, like
wall running, maybe like climbing something. I would like to see them kind of handle all that kind of stuff, maybe.
So I actually
I won't-
booted up Sekiro again, but I forgot that Sekiro has so much of that movement. You know, like
It does, yeah, the grappling hook and
wall
stuff.
Jump, of course, the grappling hook, right? Just like Tenchu. But then also I forgot that you have to jump off the wall to reach a ledge up top. Like, oh yeah, we used to do that all the time in Sekiro. That's crazy.
Yeah. I would like to see them kind of expand upon that more.
Hang off a ledge in Sekiro. That's true too. Yeah, we can't do that in Elden Ring actually.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do like. I like to see them do like a smaller game again too.
Mm-hmm.
Like not necessarily like what I mean, like, you know, not an open world game, but like a smaller $50 game or something like that. How they would tackle something like that, like Durasane or whatever was a VR game or something weird like that. I would like to see them try something like that again.
I do recommend a video I watched recently from creator Plague of Gripes. Of Gripes, but he has a cool video essay because he hates Elden Ring. And he doesn't like most of the FromSoft games, so he talks about like why, and it kind of talks about like our discussion the other week, Brad, about like what I was talking about, like boss design. Like he's actually in line with me, where he's tired of like the action back and forth like boss design. It's like, you know, it's getting to a breaking point, and like Radon is like that breaking point, and say, oh, but. The consort Radon, not the Radon Festival. Like,
right.
he actually like and I wish I brought this up earlier, but like the Radon Festival is like, for me, like one of the best versions of like the storytelling and FromSoft boss that they've ever made. You know, because it's like it looks like you're like storming Normandy Beach, and then you got all these other characters with you, and there's like so much storytelling going around in the atmosphere and in the actual fight, and the fight itself is actually engaging and fun, and like there's a lot of cool moves and everything like that too. So it's like, I don't know, like as opposed to like the Artorias clones, you know, where it's just a 10 or 12 string hit combo, and you just got to roll through that over and over again, you know.
Do you mean like a knight or something you're fighting, like a humanoid?
Kind of like a humanoid, but just, you know, just like every fight has like Malekith, Artorias.
It's about the Flash. Like, you know, if you take a look at you look at Ishin. Ishin is an incredibly difficult fight, but it's, you know, you can get that down to a silence where it's a dance of, you know, Makiri counter, parry, counter attack, back and forth. Whereas you look at Radon by comparison, especially phase 2 of Promise Consort, you're just getting molested with a light display.
It's a little much.
I mean, you can learn certain timings and whatnot to get through a lot of it, but it becomes more of like a spectacle than, you know, like I would consider Inner Ishin a better fight than Promise Consort by far. And if you look at it from the perspective of like, you know, what's going on, Promise Consort, it's just like, you know, big comet and lots of flashing lights and giant swords and meteors flying at you. And, you know, Inner Ishin is just, here's a dude, you're going to fight to the death. But like that, that battle it's just like cinema.
Yeah, Radon is just too much. So I think Radon is like a vision of like extreme FromSoft, where they just like take that way too far, and it's like, okay, maybe dial it back and, you know, figure out some. I think they should also, you know, revisit the combat system, and Sekiro was a way to kind of revisit it, you know, make it feel a little bit more active, but also stand. I'm just tired of seeing rolls all the time, you know. I'm just tired of rolling all the time, and so I want some other defensive system, or even an animation. So I think that's why a lot of people love Bloodborne so much, because when you roll, you're not actually rolling; you're just dodging through. You're dashing.
You're dashing in. It's very, very aggressive too, especially with rallying. You know,
it's a much more aggressive game. It feels like.
I don't know. Yeah, so bring some of that back. I don't know.
Sure.
Vary it up, but yeah, I agree with Cowboy. I think they will probably dial it back, or probably try something else. Looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Whatever they're cooking,
whatever they make, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we're here for
we're
it.
all
we're
there.
Suited. Yeah.
All right,
even
boys.
If they make Dark Souls 4, I'd be like, fuck it, whatever.
Jumping back in. Here we go again.
And let me find an Elite Knight side armor set again. You know, whatever. It's fine.
All right, boys. That's it for this episode of Summon Sign. Thank you for joining me, Gene, of course. Cowboy, thank you for joining us as well. Let the people know where they can find you if they want to find out more about you or learn more.
FightinCowboy on YouTube.
On YouTube? You stream on YouTube, you stream on Twitch as well?
I dual stream to Twitch, so it's like,
okay.
you know, I feel
YouTube mostly then.
Yeah, because it's just like I do see the chat, but it's like YouTube is where the party's happening, and then like the scraps are falling off towards Twitch. So, like, the platform doesn't get the same love YouTube does.
Yeah, got it. Cool. Yeah, check his videos out. He does a lot of great guides and other stuff. Like many people who wrote in, if you're nervous about getting into the series but curious about it, Cowboy's got tons of great guides out there that'll help you get into the games. It's worked many times for other people, so give his videos a shot if you're curious.
Although, Cowboy, you did fuck me up in Sense Fortress because in the third bridge where the guillotines, before you go there, you completely forgot about the lizard at the left that throws lightning spears at you to knock you off.
No, we would have sniped that with a bow, probably.
You got knocked off and you died, and I did the exact same thing because of that. And you're like, oh, I forgot about him. And I was like, yeah, you sure did. And so did I too. So I fell off, and so you did the whole run back, and I was like,
you gotta watch your head so you don't make my mistakes, G.
I was watching like alongside, because I thought I knew the game, so I'm like, no, I'll just play alongside him, and I just think I was like, oh, he's gonna turn here, and I turned, and it's like we both got hit with the exact same lightning. I was like, fuck.
We were just taking a shortcut to get to the bottom because we had to kill those Titanites. That's all.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So so it was fun to see you fuck up, actually. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I was like, oh, this is real gameplay, you know. So
yeah, one funny thing, I think Lords of the Fallen, Cowboy, when it came out, during the review process, I reviewed it at the time also. I think you invaded my game and killed me one time.
Probably. I
was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, fuck.
I had some crazy fucking build too at the start. I was like, I feel bad.
Yeah, I think you killed me like very quickly. I was like,
were you the guy that I got stuck invisible for?
No. I don't think there was anything like weird shenanigans like that when I played with you.
There was somebody I queued up for an invasion and it wasn't working. So I went to like rest. And then as I sat down to rest and it was refreshing, the invasion triggered. So I ended up in the dude's world completely invisible. And I was like, oh, fuck, this feels bad. Because it was like just me chasing him around, slapping him, and him like trying to dodge air. And I'm like, this feels wrong, but like, I got to go home somehow. Sorry, buddy.
That's funny. No, I think ours was just like a normal thing. But I think I was running from a bunch of mobs and you just took me out so quickly. I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, hey, FightinCowboy. I know that guy.
I wish cool. I started invading people during Shadow the Erdtree.
That's when you do PvP. When stuff comes out.
Invasions during the review period are the best because you know you're only going to run into either other content creators or like IGN 0613. And you're like, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to get you.
Yeah. I want to bully the game journalist with my level 713 character, you know? Or probably fucking die. You know, who knows? So
yes, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah,
way it goes.
When I was playing Death Stranding during the review period, I always saw like. That was trash the best. Left over by other content creators, like, oh, here's Young Ye's bicycle, you know? That was always fun.
It's awesome. All right, boys, that's it. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone for listening and watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.